Go. Hello, hello, and welcome to another session or episode of Echoes of Stardust with Dreamforge TTRPG. So go ahead and get our little music here going in the background and make sure everything is going right on recording and such. Yes, it is. Cool. Go ahead and get started here. So no real major updates for today's session. I will say for us, but so we'll go ahead and skip all that and just go into our normal intro, of course. You are watching Dreamforge TTRPG, a brand new tabletop role-playing game that's currently being developed by some of the people in the chat, or actually some of the people in the call right now that are currently playing. There's a little campaign we're running just to have some fun in the game ourselves and also give it a nice showcase for people that would like to come and try it out themselves. On that note, if you would like to try out Dreamforge TTRPG, you can do so by going into the description of this video and going into our going to the links listed for our Discord and our other socials. On our Discord, you will be able to find, if you join that, you'll be able to find our main portions of our community. And there, of course, you can learn how to play the game, and it is available for anyone to try out and such, and organize with other people if they'd like to try. We plan on having some more main kind of story-ish content released for people to run, so you won't even really need to prepare a bunch of stuff if you want to try DMing. Just to get people kind of in the door, trying things out and having fun. So that'll be in some future content we'll talk about. I feel like that's been the main thing mentioned every time, but situations, especially this week, have definitely made some things take longer than they honestly should have, and some of that's I will take personal blame for. Other bits of it I will not, but we're gonna go away from that for the moment because I'd like to not crash out on call right now. So in any case, we are going to go ahead and start here since we have no real major updates project-wise to share in this episode. So, yes, let's go ahead and get into our recap. Oh, and before, sorry, how could I forget to introduce? I will be today's DM, Dragon, or Aeon. And today we will be having three of our lovely players. We have Jai, who is, I believe, currently doing something right now, but they will be on call soon. Homey, who is currently working on updating their character as they just leveled up last session. All the party did. And then, of course, we have Marliana, who is, I think, probably the most prepared of everyone else in terms of, like, leveling up their character and stuff. So, that's all good. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get to the recap here as I go ahead and pull up some of my notes. I have to go out of the stuff where I was updating some of the party info. We did actually do a little bit of the loot rolling and things like that, as well as what they'll get from what just happened in the last quest already. And not in terms of, like, we can still play certain things out, but in terms of inventory management, just to avoid certain situations like we did, I believe, for, I think a couple parts ago. We had, like, a little bit of a longer inventory management that was necessary, and that was partially my fault, so we'll try to avoid those in certain situations. Obviously, to a certain extent, showing off, like, the inventory management is also partially showing off the system, but yeah. In any case, let's go ahead with our recap here as I have issues pulling something up. Why is that not? Oh, I'm gonna refresh the page real quick. And then while that's refreshing, I'm going to go ahead and play that. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So, in the last part, or I guess 2 parts, the party had journeyed out from Qual'd after having arrived the night before and aiding a guild, special guild officer named Taramela, who ended up being a kind of chaperone that was supposed to be sent to their group to aid them for a couple of things. Specifically, it seems by Hal. Hal is the main, I can say proprietor, the main, I guess you could say quest giver to a certain extent. Or at least the main organizer of the quest that the party is all on, or at least what brought them to Lapsus and the Consortium in general. They haven't met Hal, and there is still a lot of mystery around not just Hal himself, but a lot of how he exactly was able to get information about the party. Some of it very confidential, and some of it not even necessarily, well, in some ways, some things the party might not even have been aware of, but, or members of the party might not have been aware of. But as the ensuing events all kind of begin to coalesce around the party, it seems that the secrecy of Hal's identity and what he knows and who he is coming to the forefront, and perhaps it's good, since soon the party might be meeting Hal. But before all that, the party still has, I guess you could say, a few final trials left to do. Of that, when the party had finished doing things with, or finished rescuing Taramela, before the party had been sent out to talk with Taramela, they were told about a grand kind of operation being conducted by the Guild Union and the Consortium forces there in the area. And it seems as though a lot of major players in the Consortium and Guild have been, I guess, brought together to see this operation to fruition. Notably, a guild, I think he's a hand at this point, but a guild hand by the name of Devoni, who has, a guild hand by the name of Devoni, who is somewhat of a, we'll say, a special case in the Guild Union's leadership, as he was formerly a guild pillar who stepped down for unlisted reasons, and now works as the hand of Gilgamesh, one of the main creators of the guild. He is overseeing this operation, though the party, I don't know if you guys have met Devoni yet. I think you were told about his presence, but I don't know if you've met him. You might have to correct me if I'm wrong on that. I believe the only people you guys have all met was Hirata, Iabon, Eric, and Greyfang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yes, outside of that, of course, going into those names, Iabon, the kind of now soon-to-be mayoral role, or joint mayor of Qual'd, along with Greyfang, the other, who once represented the Altel district kind of more holistically. Oh, and lastly, Eric Burrows, one of the main council members of the Consortium, at least representing the Lapis province they're currently in, and another representing the southwestern Loe Kai province, the golden boy of the Consortium himself, Hirata. All were present to speak most were present to speak with the party, as they would tell them about this grand operation to reclaim the southern Lapis coast. As it seems that the southern Lapis coast, as the party has themselves seen now, is currently under duress and siege by a series of strange occurrences, and more specifically water chimera. These strange, watery, fleshy masses that seem to appear out of nowhere and travel along the underground water channels that are strewn about this area, and pop up to attack travelers as well as people along the coast. To that extent, the party would be participating in an I already said that. The party would be participating to see this problem dealt with. Moreover, they would be helping with a group of vessels, they would be helping by boarding a group of vessels in the bay soon to go out and hunt what they believe to be the source of these water chimera, or at least a connection to them. A large water dragon, or Drakeshore, is unclear at the moment, who they believe might either be commanding them or in some way is directing the creatures to attack all the surrounding area, and as well as seems to be the main source of the ships being sunk, or at least that's what's believed at this time based on the information the party and others have provided. To that extent, the party would need to travel to Mogah, where they plan on retrofitting most of the parked vessels that they have still at the docks there, for combat, to go out with several guild and consortium groups to basically make a net to overwhelm and kind of draw in this creature, and hopefully the main draw of the main kind of draw of the water chimera once this creature's dealt would be dealt a depth or an adept blow, and would lead to them subsiding, at least in some regard. To that extent, the party traveled to Mogah, or was traveling to Mogah, aboard a war wagon, or I should say, some of which aboard a war wagon, some of which aboard their own wagon, going across the narrow roads and winding paths across the rivers leading from Qual'd and Mogah. Things seemed quiet initially, and the party was noting that it did seem a bit odd, considering there was no wildlife and other types of signs of, I'll say, life on the path they traveled. This led to the party correctly deducing that there was going to be an attack at least, or at some point during their journey. Most believed towards the time they would get to Mogah itself. And as I said, they would be correct. The battle that the party or what ended up happening, was an ambush on two fronts. One at Mogah, and one, their main front, Group A, was attacked. This led to a normal maneuver by the party and the rest of the people in this operation to maneuver around the group that was attacked and to continue on their way to Mogah. But before they could get to Mogah, as said, they found out Mogah was being besieged by water chimera. With a quick thinking, Fari and somewhat Starsha, though more Fari, devised a plan to somewhat deal with both problems at once. Send a small party to go aid Group A, who had some of the major supplies they would need for the operation, as well as send a small group ahead from Groups B and C forward to Mogah to somewhat help with the siege. Meanwhile, the Group B and C that would remain with their guards would try to push towards Mogah as quickly as possible, obviously not as quick as the ones leaving, because they would not have to worry about the freight. This way, Groups B and C could still be guarded relatively well, and Mogah could get some amount of cover. Breese, the guard captain of Mogah, decided to go ahead to Mogah to aid his people there, with the party somewhat agreeing that he would do well to do so. Unbeknownst to the party, I will say, the other party members that were not with them did end up going with Breese to aid in that regard. That would be Magellan, Gathor, and Rebecca. So they'll be catching up with them shortly. Meanwhile, the rest of the party would go on to help with Group A. And what they would find would be kind of an onslaught. Most of Group A was seemingly locked in combat, with several very wounded and definitely a few KIAs among the spatterings of combat they saw. Though, it seemed as though things were not entirely going terribly, as when the party arrived specifically to help Aaron Davis, the leader of this operation, or kind of appointed at the moment leader, over Breeze for a multitude of reasons at the moment. Aaron would be locked in combat with some of his own guards, or special guards, defending the wagons somewhat okay, though there were definitely some damaged or sunken wagons. As it seemed, they quickly realized the Chimera not only were capable of fighting, as they had already been briefed, but coordinating as well. Somewhat confirming now that these creatures have some form of communication and coordination among them, or someone is directing them, or I should say something could be. The battle was somewhat arduous for some, as Jai nearly was flatlined by a very devastating attack by a strange new form of chimera that appeared. One which had a more humanoid appearance and more almost dignified is not the right word. More refined, I guess I would say, structure to it, though still the same grotesque, watery brine and mucky brine and ribs and organs strewn from other creatures seemingly within it. But definitely more of a defined shape as opposed to a a mass, an amalgamation of water, flesh, and bone. And outside of Jai, others in the party would also have a little bit of some struggles, at least initially, as another new form, an Earth-based chimera, would appear, made of rotten wood and bone, rotten wood, bone, and flesh would seem to aggress upon them as well, somewhat being hardier than the normal water chimera they were used to. But inevitably, as the party has shown, they managed to match the new challenge quite well, with Marliana getting the final blow against the strange new water chimera that formed, by basically spearing it through with a tempest vortex through the skull and shattering it into pieces. When the battle was over, and as we begin our session here, there is one, ironically, only confirmed dead of the Consortium's group, with the rest having retreated somewhat after the party came to aid them, to either go aid other groups in the battle, or simply, due to their injuries, to relinquish, take a step back for the moment. Aaron, to his, we'll say, credit, is still standing, but is definitely looking a bit worse for wear. Feldt has came over and has healed several people, and kind of in the dissolving mass of water and bone is several trinkets that the party would be able to see now, as everyone is kind of taking stock in the situation. So, we will go ahead and do that. So, as I already talked about last session, all of you can see what is in the watery mess and fleshy mess of the dead. I guess at this point you guys don't know really a name for it, but you could call it the form. You could call it the water chimera form 2 for now. Yeah. Oh, I guess for the audience, I should say what actually is in there, because they would not know. Give me one moment. You all would find, as I am struggling to pull something up. Oh my god. Oh, that's why, because I'm in the wrong chat. You would find around 400 copper pieces, kind of. We'll say for the sake of things, these 3 items are in a sack. 400 copper pieces in a brown, or in a kind of like burlap brown sack, 360 silver pieces, as well as 160 gold pieces that are also in another sack. Beside them, not really in a pile, they're not really in like a collected pile, is about 8 armor shards that seem like rough kind of grayish rock, and then what looks to be a pouch of some arcane dust, or several pouches of arcane dust, about 6 of them. You can tell there's a little bit of faint magic trickle off of them, just as like even like Starsha would come over and like confirm like that is arcane dust. There's a couple of very gleamy some gleamy gemstones, specifically some eye agate, 4 eye agates, 1 azurite, 1 turquoise, and 1 moss agate. These are all cut gems as well, so they are not crude. And then lastly are 4 weapons, or equipment. One of them is a ring that has this kind of brand of a kind of, looks like a fire wisp kind of going across the ring band. It is a Scorching Seeker ring. The other items, I would like, even though yes, I know you guys know what they can do, so you don't need to I guess. I was going to have you identify some of these, but I kind of sent that without realizing it and checked my notes. I was like, yes, I was supposed to have them identify it. So for the sake of things, could somebody please roll me an appraisal, if they'd like?
I got you.
Yes. I did that in reverse. I was going to send this to you afterwards, but I already pressed enter, and I was like, welp, too late.
I'm good.
All right. As that's being rolled, the one of the items seems to be. I mean, you can tell like shape. None of you are that dumb. It looks like a type of sword spear with a kind of laced enchantment across it. You're not sure if it's something like the weapon itself has an enchantment placed upon it, or it might be coming from the material. It's a kind of light blue, almost cyan color, and it has like it feels when you touch the staff of the sword spear, like it's almost lubricated, not slick like oil, more like water, and it feels cold to the touch. There is a rapier that is it looks to be also enchanted, and something about it seems a little bit more dense. And then the last item appears to be, it has an embroidered, or not embroidered, an emblazoned and kind of pressed seal of. Actually, roll me a knowledge local regal, someone, if they'd like. It has what looks to be a BC, and it's encrusted with fire. Or like a kind of fiery symbol. Yep, feel free. Alright. So. Homey did too? Okay. So we'll go with you first. Appraisal. 13. That's decent enough for what most of these are. So you know the Scorching Seeker Ring. Starsha could kind of help identify that one too. That's a not uncommon item to see. There's actually a lot of these you've heard about in circulation, Marliana. As in, like, they're often made by various enchanters. I would say they're one of the types of enchantments a lot of enchanters that kind of are beginning to go from their apprentice level upwards make, because it's kind of a very good enchantment to test your basic skill on. So not that that means it's bad or anything, just that like it's not like something renowned or super special. But again, its effects can be good. It allows the user, even one that is we'll say not exactly spiritually inclined, to be able to send out I believe it's Scorching Beams. Someone might need to correct me, or Burning Seekers, one of those two spells. I think it's Burning Seekers. I'm sorry, yeah, it's Burning Seekers. It has its own built-in plus and stuff like that. But can be useful if you don't really have like a good range option necessarily. Burning Seekers is a nice spell, to be able to cast. I believe it is once per dawn as well. But
what's the maximum amount of things you can be attuned to again?
It is equal to your verse bonus, so 2 for all of you right now. Unless you're a Forge caster, they can cheat the system slightly, but yes.
I think Jai would ask if the party was okay with them picking up the ring.
Starsha would kind of shrug and toss the ring over to you. As long as someone's using it, I don't really care.
I was kind of thinking Homey thought he was looking at that last time.
Well, we could have it too.
It doesn't let you use the spell, it just has a charge of it. So you're not using your own spell casting modifier.
Yeah, you use the thing, which would be plus 5?
Right?
Yes, plus 5.
Yeah.
Jai talks to Homey.
Alright, Homey, you grab the ring. You would like to attune to it, it will take you an hour. The other item, so the local regal, we'll get those. I'll splice you guys in real quick, but then I'll get back to the. Oh, actually, you got a 13. You don't know what this sword spear is made of, Marliana, but something about the metal is very familiar to you. Like you've seen. You think actually you're quite sure this is a common metal used in Type Pack's arms. Usually it's a lot less of it because it's it's rare, and it's also not hard to work with, but it can be pricey. So usually they don't
give the name that you said it was, the material.
Oh, I didn't. I deliberately didn't.
Oh,
you would not be able to.
There was something you described it as that I didn't hear.
Oh, I said that when you touch it, it feels watery, like it's like slick with something, not in a slimy way, but like water, just like literal water. Like you touch it and it feels like you had like water in your hand on your hands, and then it feels cold to the touch. That was the other thing.
Okay. Can I do a nature check?
To see material? I would say, yeah, you can if you'd like. meanwhile, while you're doing that, it was a 17. What was the other for? That was not recollection. Local Regal. What was the Local Regal?
I rolled a 14 on local regal.
14 and 17. That's enough. Both of you are aware. Homey, you would recognize this a little bit. During your time, as you were, it's funny. Both of you recognize it from not necessarily a similar situation, but because of the fact that both of you were slightly involved, or would recognize like the actions of some, we'll say. This is a Blazecaster's weapon. Specifically, it is a Forge Master style weapon. It is a Forge Master's light mace. The Forge Masters, or I should say the Blazecasters, are one of the few, well, not few. They're a foundry that makes a lot of weapons for the Consortium, but not exclusively for the Consortium. They're not like Everglow, as you know, Homey, that pretty much exclusively only makes arms for the Garan military, but recently started outsourcing, and that's only in limited amounts, and that's only usually medical stuff. Most of the time, any Garan or Everglow materials or weapons are found, usually it's because it was lost, and, you know, people just happen to get it. But they aren't really ones to want to sell outside of Garan or Garan-related allies. Like, they'll sell to the guild, but they won't sell to, like, the Consortium, for instance. Or, like, Memorum. Anyway, yes, so you would be aware of that. Specifically this light mace, it's often a tool that's seen on the pockets, or on the belt, or in the pockets of the Forge Masters, and that is specifically the Consortium's, one of the Consortium's military branches. The Forge Masters are known kind of as, in a weird way, despite the Mariners existing for the Consortium, they're kind of seen as, like, landing brigades that also are good on the ocean. They were not entirely ones that would have invaded Gara, but it would not have been obtuse for them to be representing, like, battle engineers or battlesmiths on the field to aid the control guard and such, or the garrison when they had attempted to invade Gara. So you would know Homey, having done a lot of war relief during the after the Rising War, that, like, yeah, this is one of their tools. Similarly, Jai, you have seen these things picked up on certain from certain battles around Noblesse that, like, you know, the Consortium had started. These would have been certain things, like, found probably from a dead soldier, or, like, getting washed across the shore from a sunk battleship. So, not super uncommon, but, you know, it can still be a pretty decent thing. And I should say you would be aware of the fact that they're not the strongest of weapons, but they have auxiliary utility similar to, like, alto arms that can be useful. For them, maybe something more along the lines of construction or smithing, you think. And then we'll get to you. You are aware of what this metal is and why it seems so, we'll say, similar and recognizable. It is made of aquanite. Aquanite is a very common metal that's seen in various types of high-end tide-packed base arms. That being said, raw aquanite is not super hard to mine, but it can be somewhat rare, and also it's expensive, as I said. So they don't usually make entire weapons out of aquanite. They usually use it as a supplement, or parts of it as a supplement for other arms. Like, they might use only 1 ingot of aquanite for something that would usually use 3, and then replace the rest of that with something like iron or steel. Or actually, it'd probably be, I can't remember, I think it's, maybe I'm thinking of silver. It's something that has a very high resistance to water, like, being in water, for obvious reasons. But yes, you recognize the chilled touch, or the chilled touch with the slight wetness, lubrication across the staff. It is an aquanite weapon. Was there another thing? Oh yeah, the rapier seems to not be a special. Okay, sorry, it's special, but you're not sure why it's special. None of you really are. It's enchanted, but that's about all you know. It doesn't also bear a mark of some type of, what was that? Was that a...
What was an appraisal?
Appraisal? You're still not really sure what it could be. You can tell, even with an 8, I'll tell you, like, you can tell it's enchanted with something. But it's not like a Forge Master weapon, nor is it made of any type of special metal. In fact, you're pretty sure it's just made of iron. To the naked eye, someone would just probably assume this is just a regular rapier, but, you know, you can see like a faint trickle of energy, so you can tell something about it's there. Starsha would kind of look over and say, well, it seems like this creature popped and gave us a little confetti surprise. We should at least put all this stuff on the back of the wagon. It's something we can maybe use or sell in the future, if we're not using it immediately. She looks over at you, homie. Alright, chop chop, go load it up, homie. And she'll like clap her hands. Meanwhile, she'll look over at the, I guess, remains of the thing outside of the gold and other items. What an odd creature. So these things seem to be able to evolve in some way. I wonder if that was natural or some conditions had been met. She's saying this out loud, by the way, I should say.
Right. Can I try and check what's left of it?
Yeah, like, you want to make, like, a knowledge, I guess this would be, like, a knowledge bestiary? I don't think you have a cult, right?
No.
Yeah, just roll knowledge bestiary for me.
Alright. Shit. Yeah, there we go.
Alright, that's pretty good.
2.
Yes, that's good enough. So, I will say, pretty quickly, and this isn't super surprising, this thing is of a similar makeup to a water chimera. Like, if there was any doubt that this was water chimera in origin, it's alleviated very quickly. That being said, the gristle, the bones, the water even, well, the water is mainly now just kind of dissolving into the ground, something about it, you almost immediately clock the bones and things of this creature haven't just been kind of haphazardly thrown together and are kind of floating in the water. It almost looks as if the bones that are there kind of regenerated's not the right word, because that would imply it was returning maybe to a previous form. It's almost like it's amalgamated and grafted together into a more solidified one. This thing, it's definitely, you feel like an evolution in the sense that what the water chimera are, this disjointed mess of flesh and water and mass, this thing is more, again, refined is the word. And you're pretty sure that the means that it's done by, if it wasn't very obvious, by bony mass of meat and water, is not done by natural means. There's probably some amount of someone's either alchemical or otherwise medical knowledge having done this. Probably a mixture of that and maybe some type of magical enchanting. Some type of, you get a slight tinge of deep magic being involved. And some other influence, or some other influences that you can't quite piece together with a bestiary, I'll say.
I'll just go ahead and repeat the gist of it back to Starsha and note that, well, it seems like it's not a fully evolved thing, but it's growing, or it was.
Starsha kind of writes something down. So, we can well, I guess that means we can confirm that they're evolving. Strewn about. She kind of looks at the other, like, dissolving masses. This thing was quite, not just... This thing didn't just seem to have been... She kind of thinks about the word she wants to say. The other water chimeras seem to have subsided after it was defeated. I don't know if that's because they were connected to it, or if whoever directed these things might have had them pulled back once this was taken out. As she says that, all of you, and I mean all of you, hear something in your heads. A voice. It's slightly hard to it's slightly hard to piece who it's from or where it's from at first. But you hear a very astute.
Do all of us hear that?
Yes, even you, homie, who's like picking stuff up and probably moving it to the cart, you hear this voice.
I think Jai would ask their Baelgal. Who is that?
The Baelgal, strangely, it'll answer back, astonishing. Something with the ability to intrude in your mental space like this is quite interesting. It was not I. No. And I can't detect them. They must be quite potent and strong.
If it can intrude on me, can it intrude on you?
Perhaps. I shall stay silent for the moment and try to trace. They kind of trail off for a minute. Starsha kind of looks around, like you can see instantly has her hands back to her sidearms, is like looking around. I would like an awareness check.
Okay.
Oh,
Can I instead do
Yes, if you'd like to do a soul sensing, you can do that as well.
Wait, what'd you say?
You could do a soul sensing if you'd like as well. I'm sorry, I should have said either.
My awareness is so much better.
You don't have to use a soul sensing then. Just do one of the other. I'm actually gonna do soul sensing, or sorry, spiritual insights, which is. Oh wait, no, that's non-energy. My bad. I will do. Which better? Soul sensing is better than my awareness. Yeah, so soul sensing. I got a 12.
I got it too.
All right, Homey, 19. Jai, what'd you get?
Jai will roll a soul sensing.
All right.
In a sec.
Well, Jay,
Oh, this isn't really that high. Never mind. I mean, it's higher than a 2, but it's not as high as I thought. Also, I said 12. I meant to say what's it? 9 plus 5. It's a 14. I thought I got a 7. If you hit a 14 or higher, you are fine.
Jai rolled a 12. And did Jai re-roll the numbers for the long rest?
You haven't long rested yet. So, as far as
Did Jai have a cat's luck?
I think you used your cat's luck, from what I recall.
Yeah, one was used.
I think unless you have more than one, I'm pretty sure you only have one right now.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? Oh wait, no, that's for spells. Never mind. You can't use it for that. Damn, that's okay. 12 you said? Unfortunate. Jai doesn't notice.
That level up hasn't happened yet, right?
It has not technically happened yet, but your guys are gonna long rest right after this, so that's why.
Something important happens to certain people.
Yes. You, Homey, and Starsha, not Marliana, my bad. Your ears flop up, Homey, and you hear something. Starsha, her eyes glimmer, and both of you immediately look off about maybe 150 feet or so into the forest brush. You're not really in a clearing, as you guys know. You're kind of like in a spattered part of like ridges and path with trees strewn about. But like where the forest gets a lot denser, I would say. Also, I guess there's like lakes and stuff around, or like little ponds. Where the forest gets a lot denser, there is something off in the distance. What you... I don't remember, but you'll have to remind me because I think both of you will recognize them because I think you both now have seen them. After your eyes affix into the forest edge, there is a presence you can hear, or that you can see and hear, or see and feel. Afar, standing atop what looks to be a large outstretched branch, is a tall, seemingly tall creature. Its form shifts back and forth between tall and short, somewhat making its presence a bit unpredictable, we'll say. However, Homey, I have a question. Have you seen the person wrapped in shadows before? Specifically, did you see them when you guys were coming to Qual'd the other day? After you had passed where the strange compound material had been spilled and such. I think it was where Marliana, I believe, saw them, but I don't remember who else saw them at the time.
Oh, was that? Yeah, when we were heading to Qual'd?
Yes, then you were coming back to Qual'd before you went to go help Taramela.
I might have written that down.
If you could, I remember.
I have a question about this happening now.
Yes.
You know, their well, I guess their form is shifting, which I would assume is some form of an illusion of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And Blindsight usually sees through illusions. I was just wondering how Starsha's doing with all this.
You know, you would be partially right. However, there's one mild
really
issue.
away.
Yeah, they're 150 feet away, and
Yeah,
Starship Blindsight,
never mind.
while good, is not that good. But you are correct, because Starship actually could note that they are, because the first time they saw them, their form was shifting, but when they got close, Starship saw them as like this very large, tall, imposing force. So, you know, take that as you will. But like, yeah, as far as they can see right now, it's just, you know, bouncing up and down in terms of height. But we'll go, I don't know if you saw them, Homey, but we're gonna go off the idea, let's say you didn't. Homey, you can see this form. It's hard to make out what exactly, like, if there's a particular, like, sex or gender that's present. It's also hard to make out what type of creature this could be. There's no facial features or anything. It looks like they're almost wrapped in a black robe that rides with shadow.
So I see them?
You can see them. They seem to be looking your direction based on the way they're standing atop the tree. Starsha hasn't said anything great yet.
For those who haven't seen them, like gang, there's a thing over there.
Everyone else, you can see as you look over, there is what looks to be a form, or actually I'd say as everyone's looking over, Homey, you and Starsha here specifically in your minds, you hear the words.
Can I do another thing real quick though?
Yes. What would you like to do?
Can I do sense power?
Yes, a sense power action. Go ahead. While you're doing that, I believe I'm gonna check real quick. Sense power. Oh, I might need to go to chapter. 1 sec. That might be in chapter 3.
I get that from my lineage.
You do. Does your sense power have any special conditions than normal sense power does?
It gives me a bonus muscular check.
I don't think it's. No, it's not in chapter 5. It's gotta be in chapter 4. Or not 4, chapter 3. Why can't I find chapter 3? Oh, I guess I don't go to it that much. Sense power. There we go. Sense power. You begin to hone your spiritual ability sensing a creature. Unfortunately they are past 60 feet. You need to be within 60 feet of them, but you would make a soul sensing check.
What about the identified divinity?
I believe it's also got a similar speed. I'm sorry. Range, but I'll check just for you real quick.
I'm gonna have to put these down because I should do these more.
It doesn't have. Items. Items, iconography, or properties of faith or deity associated with it. I mean, I'd say the only reason I think it would, I'll let you do it, but the only reason I'd say it'd be difficult is because they're 150 feet away from you, and like it's hard to make out things on them deliberately. But, yes, go ahead and roll. You are gonna need to roll a knowledge, I believe, faith. Yes, a knowledge. Or knowledge occultism if you have that, or occult, sorry. You might not, but yeah. But as you're doing that, you can hear the words that they say. Thank you for taking care of that problem. What'd you
We all
roll?
hear it?
Nope, this is just them
12.
first.
I figured it wasn't a 14, so I probably wasn't gonna get anything.
Nah. I'd say you can't really tell.
Feldt still has one more die that she hasn't used yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the day is ending, it seems.
What's the die?
What was this check for?
This was identify divinity. So I can tell you specifically, they're trying to identify a creature's divinity or fiendish potential background properties, identify iconography, item properties, or faith or deity associated with it.
That could be interesting to find that information out.
Could be.
Given that I can't see the day going on much longer, let's turn that 7 into an 18.
All right.
That's crazy.
I will give you something that normally I wouldn't. But you can see something, just briefly, as they say these words, and you point them out. It's a flicker. It's almost a blink and you'll miss it moment, but there's a flicker of something as it seems like their form turns. A symbol. The symbol looks to be two daggers held kind of against, or two hands crossed over holding two daggers. But the backdrop is odd. At first you just think it's a normal circle, but for some reason your mind just flashes like an image in your head, and the word comes to you. Moon. The backdrop is of a moon. But then, as you kind of see this, the form kind of starts to vanish into the darkness of the forest. And I will say, you don't think you've seen a symbol like this for anything that has to do with divinity, or like in any type of divinity, fiend, or even fae type of background. Whatever this is, it has probably no religious meaning, at least based on what you can remember or recall.
What was the spell called again?
Spell? It's not a spell. It's just an action. It's called Identify
Just
Divinity.
a natural ability.
Yeah. Anyone can do this. It's just his has special capabilities, I think. I think it's a boost to it.
I knew it was something tied to his lineage. I just
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
I gave him something a little bit more, which is I gave him the ability to see the symbol, which he would have had to do this. I'm like, it's fine. I'll give it to him. As they said that, Homey, everyone else, you can now see the figure having turned around and beginning to vanish into the trees. Starsha kind of murmurs like, why are they thinking this? What is... As you hear all of you, the voice once more say, ooh, wait, let me check. What is his name?
After you say what he says, can you describe the symbol again?
I will momentarily. Let me just pull this up.
Yes.
Yeah, where is it? I'm on the wrong page. Need a name. It's not a name, it's a title. Oh, right, it's a title. Let me go to something real quick. You know, I should know this, but believe it or not, it's actually hard sometimes to remember everyone's specific titles.
That's fair.
Okay, not that one. Here it is. Wow, that is certainly a name.
Oh boy.
All right, yeah. It would, you would hear the voice say, beware the scourge of the seas, the one who heeds the whispers.
Do the whispers?
As they say that, they disappear into the darkness.
Could you repeat that quote?
Beware the scourge of the seas, the one who heeds the whispers. I can repeat it as well again if someone needs it.
What was the thing right before whispers?
The one who heeds, like heeding the call, heeds, H-E-E-D, the whispers.
Okay. I just missed the word.
No, you're fine, because it can sometimes get mired in, like, the way I'm speaking, so. And then also, you had a question, Eli, what was it?
The symbol.
It is two arms crossed over each other holding daggers, and erected behind them is a moon, a full moon. Well, is it new moon or full moon? Is it? No, it's full moon, my bad.
Okay, I just heard the crossed daggers, not the arms holding it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. I'm all set. Well, that was, something odd. That figure keeps showing up.
Starsha kind of looks...
Weird shit happened to us.
I'm starting to wonder as well. Seems that we're popular among certain groups. I don't like being popular. That being said, though, they thanked us for taking care of these creatures.
They thanked us? Did I
Oh,
hear
you did not.
that? No, Marliana says it. Like, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. Like, she kind of looks over. Starsha kind of says, "Wait, did you not hear it?"
I don't know. I think so.
She kind of thinks.
I didn't hear it either.
I wonder. So it's able to
hear
selectively
it?
speak. I heard it too, homie.
Okay, well, I was making sure if I actually heard it or I was just listening.
I think it was speaking to us specifically, but I don't know why. Maybe because we noticed it first?
It doesn't like you guys.
But why thank us for taking... Shigana says, my original hypothesis was this person wasn't necessarily the one that was that was directing these chimera. Though they seem to know about them a great deal. I wonder... Homie, did you notice anything about them before they disappeared?
Yeah. A symbol of I described the celestial symbol that I saw before they vanished.
Everyone can roll me a knowledge local regal if they'd like.
Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah? Oh my god.
Actually,
Man.
Homey and Starsha can roll me... Wait, who would this be? Feldt. No, Feldt's gonna be silent on this. Homey can roll it. Starsha... No, I'm not gonna... I'll roll local regal for Starsha. Does anyone have any Guild Union background?
No.
Alright. Unfortunate.
What do you mean?
Specifically... Well, you're fine because of your Gara background. This actually gives you information. Alright. Nope. Well... Homie... Nope. None of you... remember... No one of you know... I should say remember. None of you know much about this symbol.
I didn't roll anything yet because I wasn't sure.
Oh, was that... Oh, I thought that 12. I'm sorry. You can roll recollection or a local regal. Just whichever's higher. Alright, 15. 15 is actually enough. Homie, you kind of furrow your brow a bit and scratch your chin thinking. And there's a moment where you're like, wait, it doesn't have any divinity relations. You're like, nothing fiend, fae. And then you as you're like thinking, there's no religious background, you remember seeing something, maybe like in the news, a lot, like maybe a year or two ago or something like that. This was, it was plastered a bit on Gara, and it came up actually in the guild news, like kind of guild talking to like Garan officials, and it was in the news in there. They were talking about how, well, there is an area in Gara that is somewhat, we'll say, quarantined off, or cordoned off for the moment. And they were talking about how it was in relation to BOS, and specifically how they've been investigating the source of BOS and what it can do and all that. And there was a mention of, you remember at this moment, one of the Garan officials asked if there was any connection to one of those symbols that was seen. And one of the guild officials, you recall it being maybe an official you recall being like a Sanesh, like a snake person, by the name of it's hard to recall. You think it was Mana something, maybe Mana Louv or Love. She had mentioned that they've been still investigating after running into a series of those symbols in one of their last raids into into a believed area where where BOS material is being housed, and specifically they bring up a symbol not exactly the same, but looked like a tree that was crested across a full moon as well. And it's like it snaps into your mind. Both images kind of like transpose on each other. While they're not the same symbol, there's a correlation that's almost dead on with the way that the moons are centered and the central fixture between them. Oh, okay. I just realized something. I was reading something. Okay. Remember how I said the crossed-arm daggers?
Yeah.
Okay. Ignore, well, that is a symbol, but it's for the wrong land. I fucking read the wrong land. This one looks like two waves crossed across each other. I apologize. I was like, wait, the cross dagger should be for, Gobi, right? And I was right. I went and read a bit more, and I was right. So yes, what your symbol should look like is two waves crossing across each other in front of a full moon. And then the one you're recalling from the Gara conversation was a tree that was crested in front of a full moon. One of the officials, you also recall them mentioning how the Order of the Crescent has been kind of called upon in questioning, and they have said that they have no relation to this group. In fact, they think it is a disgusting, what would be the word? Facsimile of their grand symbol of the moon that they carry across them. You believe that Order of the Crescent is some religious faith and dogma, from what you recall. But it seems as though it's not confirmed. It seems like there was no correlation, at least at that time, that was found between the two. This symbol the group name, you got a 15. The group name, they hadn't necessarily been identified yet. The guild at the time, which again was like a year or two, or like 2 years ago or so, was they were calling them the BOS agency, or BOS, BOS agency. But they don't actually have they didn't have an official name for the group at that time.
That was the name for the tree in the moon?
That was the name for the collective. They don't have a name exactly. They've been just calling them the BOS agency as a collective because they don't have any official name.
The tree symbol.
Yes, it was. And any associated symbols. But yeah, homie, that's what you know. I guess if homie doesn't say anything, Starsha will just...
Probably-
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I'll probably just relay the information back to people who don't know.
Okay.
But,
Most of everyone doesn't seem to know, it seems.
oh,
Yeah. As before Starsha can speak, Homey will relay all that was said to, I guess, or not said, what was he recalls. Starsha kind of crossed their arms thinking, but doesn't say anything for the moment.
So, BOS agency. I guess the same people who were involved with our BOS incident could be responsible.
I wonder, is that how these random vagabonds were able to get their hands on BOS? It would make sense.
I wonder what the different type of symbols mean.
What just happened? Oh. One sec. My earphones disconnected? What? That was interesting. I apologize. My headphones just disconnected themselves. Strangely.
Interesting. It happens.
They didn't reconnect either. Alright. You were saying?
I was wondering what the different type of symbols might mean.
Starsha kind of thinks. Based on the fact that Homey saw one in Gara that looked like a tree, and this one looks like water, waves crashing upon each other. My assumption is it might represent different subsects of their group in different areas across Jakar.
Yeah.
If you think about it like how a faction would, it's not exactly unheard of. I mean, the Consortium has some different symbols for the different branches of the military. Maybe a group that's big enough that's spanning across Jakar probably would too. That makes me wonder, though. A full moon. I wonder.
Well, if they thanked us, then it makes me wonder how this group is involved
Related.
with whoever else.
She kinda thinks. Yes. Well, in either case, we'll need to figure that out at some point, but for now, she kinda looks across. You hear splashing sound and like the sounds of wet like boots walking on a path, coming up the path towards you all, and you hear terrible creatures. All right, sound off. Who's alive? And he like looks around. He's looking at all of you. He looks over, and you see. Well, I guess it's not exactly unknown to all of you, but there is somebody that is crumpled to the ground right now, waterlogged, face down. It was the woman that was fighting against the water chimera earlier that got crushed by the wave the creature summoned. And you can see Aaron kind of like walks over. Not really saunters, just kind of walks over. He leans down, touches the back of their neck, and then he just kind of he leans up and he just kind of nods and he says, you see him clasp his hands together and like almost like in a prayer motion, and he recites a little prayer as he says, May Avalus guide their soul to the promise after the lights. And he will unclasp his hands and he will turn over and will say, is there any more wounded around? All of you already. Points at all of you.
We're holding up.
Starsha nods. Hannah nods. He says, good. Alright. He'll look over and he'll say, I need to get... he'll grab a horn from like one of the wagons that's overturned. And he'll go as he blows into it. A couple of moments pass before you hear down the lane. He nods. Good. It means that the situation there is probably fine since there was not 2 blows. He kind of looks around. So these are these water chimera creatures. That's what they're capable of. He's like looking at some of the overturned, like wagons and stuff. He says, I'll go send a message for help. To get everything moved over, we should be up and running in the next 20 or so. He says, you should head back to your group. Thank you for the assistance. And you'll see him kind of start to walk down the path.
Since we've got all the stuff, might as well head back.
Starsha kind of, as he's walking, Starsha kind of says, like, I'm sure you can see now that Breese had his hands full with a lot here. And he kind of stops. And like, you can see, you're facing his back. He kind of just like balls his fists for a second and kind of releases and just says, perhaps I have misjudged the situation. Perhaps I have misjudged the situation indeed. However, I will not be caught and lacking in a situation like this again. And he will keep going down the path. Taramela kind of like walks over, is like, that was quite rude, Starsha. He's like, I just want him to back off of Breeze. He was acting quite brazen earlier. Now he knows.
It wasn't rude, it was honest.
She kind of looks over. I guess you have a point, to be fair. She says, I do note that the boastful ones have to be careful. But, regardless, she looks over. So, I guess he said that he doesn't need our help, it sounds like. Are we heading out now? She looks around at all of you.
I guess so.
Starsha nods. I think that would be a good idea. Homey, at this point, Homey, you would have probably loaded everything up onto the back of your wagon. Alright, Marliana, you're on helming duty with Karina.
I think Karina started out with the first bit.
Then yeah, it's you then, yeah. So she'll say, yeah, go. Karina will basically push to you to go. Yeah, she'll just hand you the reins and she'll just sit beside you. Starsha will hop on the back of the wagon. Taramela, same. I assume Jai and the others.
Yes.
Starsha, as you guys are going around the different destroyed wagons and like the different ponds, you can see like there's about 5 more soldiers that you see now that once you after you've been here, obviously, that perished as well before you got here. Sorry, not after you've been here, before you got here. Their bodies, one of them is dragged, it looks like halfway into the water of a pond. Another 2 look like they were thrown off of a cliff and just had hit the ground too hard. And then the last looks like they were gored basically through the chest by one of the creatures, like just kind of carved through them. Starsha kind of says, "It seems like this was their hardest push yet against us. It makes me think." Taramea looks over. Well, what's that? It seems that they're either scared, or something's changed. Taramea kind of thinks. For them to have pulled off a 2-pronged ambush like this, I don't think your assessment's wrong, but there's another option it could be. Starsha looks over, at her, kind of wondering, what it could be. And Taramela looks over. A field test, if you will. Starsha kind of like eyebrow raises to that. Just think about it. We saw not only one, but two different new forms of water chimera in this battle. Not only that, they were testing their limits on various different types of combat. 2 ambushes, 2 different types of coordinations, and formations, you could say. New abilities and the like. As far as I know, the guild hasn't exactly seen any of these types of creatures either, the new ones. There's been reports, of course, of the Earth ones, but even that's been sparse. So whoever was using them here, seems like they were using them for the first time. So, my assumption goes to field test.
It seems like a reasonable assumption too.
She nods. Starsha
Wonder
kind of
what
thinks.
was next.
Starsha then says, well then the question is, and Taramela finishes the statement, what was the field test for, exactly? At the moment I don't think we can know, but I have a feeling that we'll find out sooner or later. Though I have a feeling it's not just about the creatures. Something tells me the nature of these attacks, the poking and prodding. Starsha kind of like, there's like almost like an epiphany, and Starsha realizes like, they were testing the waters of the Consortium's reaction. Maybe not even just theirs, maybe even ours. Taramela says, yeah, I'm getting that feeling as well, and I don't like it. Starsha kind of thinks, I feel like there's too many unknowns that we don't know about, and I don't like it. She just sighs. Hopefully things are going good with Breese and them. And, perhaps as a Vonku, maybe about another 30 minutes down the way, you actually see that there is a couple of wagons and several horses kind of mushing forward. Leading the pack of them, you can see looks to be Breese, Rebecca, and Kane, actually, who are on horseback, heading over towards you. The wagons continue on as Kane kind of looks back towards Breese, and Breese just says, Go help the others. They're going to need assistance at Group A. And Kane just nods and he keeps going. Kane, as you recall, you haven't seen him in a while, is the Lupin Devilkin man that you guys met when you guys first got to Mogah. That was helping Shia, or Quia.
Yeah, I think I remember him.
Yeah, it's been a while, but he seems to be healed up now and is, in the fray. Also, they all look a bit, not injured, just weathered, like they've been in a fight. They all, even the soldiers that are coming, they look like they've been in a fight. You can see in the wagons, there's a couple of what looks to be physicians with some guild, like, medical materials and stuff like that, or medical outfits. Breeze will kind of come over to all of you as he, like, circles around. Says, what happened with all of you? Is everything all right? You look relatively fine. But he's like looking at Jai and probably honestly Marliana and Homey, despite you all being healed, like you guys were actually getting lower on health, so it looks like there's been some wounds recently healed.
I just got a bit of a haircut.
You don't say. He looks at you, Marliana.
We fought some new chimera.
New
One of them in
chimera.
particular was quite rough.
Did they have rock and wood strewn about their bodies?
Oh, we fought some little ones of those, but they weren't anything like the other one.
The other new one, he kind of questions.
It was some form of evolved water chimera with a more defined skeleton inside its water.
He kind of thinks for a minute. We didn't see anything like that. There were bigger ones of the ones that we're used to seeing, but that was about it. They just they simply had more heft to them, but that was about it. No new abilities, not like. But there were some others that we hadn't seen before, made of earth. they seem to come out of the ground or out of ridges and such. They were actually quite difficult and annoying, or they were quite annoying to deal with initially. They took out some of our archers, grinding themselves against the walls of the settlements and attacking them as they got up to the top, but we managed to take care of them. It seems as though sound as well as a... I'm gonna look at something because they did actually find out something. It seems as though sound as well as a nice splash will get rid of them quickly.
The party and Jai included don't know about Earth Chimera, right?
Yes, that's what he's talking about.
Would it be fair to say that Jai would make the connection that if it's like a water chimera but Earth, that would like Earth chimera? I suppose.
Yeah, would Jai make the connection? Say it again?
Would it be fair for Jai to make the connection that if it's water chimera but like made of like Earth, like rocks and wood and stuff like that, that would be like Earth chimera?
Yeah, you could. I think most of you could probably.
I think Jai would say interesting. It's like water chimera but Earth.
He nods.
Earth chimera? Perhaps? I've never heard of that thing before.
Taramela's like, I only just mentioned it a bit ago. It's just like...
I didn't hear you.
She just kind of like pouts a bit, like pops up her cheeks. But Breeze will continue on. He says, they're still somewhat weak of vigor. Well, not as much as the water ones, but still. He kind of says, but if there's a stronger one, I wonder if this will be enough to deal with them. Breeze you can see he kind of looks out in the distance and ponders. Starsha kind of says, so, about the situation in Mogah, past that, he's like, right. Right. The situation there has been mostly dealt with. We staved off the second wave, but we did have to take care of... he says, but we did have managed to fortify most of our area. So, no more, he says, so they weren't able to get in past that first initial wave that we were handling. Or sorry, past the first initial point of that second wave. But there is another thing to consider. He says, if we were to deal with another wave like that, without support, I'm not sure that Mogah would last. Starsha says, so it's imperative that we deal with the situations quickly. Oh, Breeze, another question. Did you happen to see a strange figure draped in a black robe? He kind of looks at her confusedly. No, we did not. Says, He kind of says, like the one you spoke of that was in the cave, correct? She says, She just kind of nods. He says, we did not see something like that. Though... I don't... There was something that did happen, now that you mention it. A voice, you could say. It spoke to some of us. I don't know how to describe it. We couldn't identify where it was coming from, but it told us about some of the weaknesses of these creatures. But we could not find the source of the voice. Sasha kind of thinks. I wonder. Rebecca kind of like looks over. Oh yes, there was some weird voice in the sky that was telling us. Maybe it was some type of divination from beyond, something of that matter, but regardless, it saved our asses a couple times. But we wouldn't have figured out the whole thing about the water situation with them, unless they had mentioned it. It was funny. They actually managed to get one to attack the other. They're not exactly smart sometimes, but... You know, sometimes, she kind of thinks. The coordination... They're definitely more coordinated than they have been. But either way, you can see now that Mogah is coming into view. She says, right, well, I'm going to head off to help with getting everything unloaded still. So he kind of gives Homey a peck on the cheek and says, see you later, Homey. And we'll trail off on our horse. Breese will nod and he'll say, The guild hall has a room already set for you. You've all done well enough today. You can rest for the time being. Let the rest of us do inventory and manage what's left. He kind of says, I'll give you a report in the morning about what the situation is. I'm sure Hirata is already taking the helm of things at Mogah, in my stead. Oh, yes. There is somebody that wants to meet you as well at the guild hall. And you're gonna say, I'll look over and say, I believe that they're one of the guild leaders. He has a...
Did you say a leader?
He kind of says, perhaps. I believe that the term hand was used. I'm not quite sure the guild's ranking structure. He kind of says, a Devilkin man. I mean no rudeness by the gesture, just ash-colored skin and large, it says, and one large horn that slightly protrudes out of its head. Another chipped. And he kind of thinking, I recall his name, Devone. And he says,
Just out of curiosity, can you spell it for me?
Devone, I can do better than that. I can just copy and paste it.
Cool. Thank you.
And Breese will head off after he says that. We'll
So another person from the guilds wants to talk to us, huh?
Starsha nods. I guess we're meeting all the important people today, it seems.
Who is Devoni? I look towards Taramela.
She looks over and says, he's the main hand for Gilgamesh. Unlike most guild pillars, Gilgamesh actually only has one real hand, and that's Devoni. He's a former pillar, though he, for reasons that are not exactly widely known, stepped away from being a pillar to instead take the role of a hand. Sorry, I was chewing on something.
Quite popular.
Yeah. It's not surprising that they'd send Devoni to deal with something like this. The situation is developing quite quickly. I'm sure Gilgamesh, wherever he is or whatever he's doing, wants some type of eyes directly on the ground that he can trust.
Well, I guess we'd better head straight there.
Starsha nods.
All right.
So,
How long overall? That was, what, 30 minutes?
yeah, it'll be an hour. It'll be an hour total. You guys were very close to the town when the attack happened.
Yeah.
So, you get into Mogah, and you see roughly what was described. The town is holding together quite well, but the walls have been battered pretty badly. They'll need time to repair them, and more resources especially. And considering Mogah was already trying to recover after, we'll say, a race war, they're kind of low either on certain amounts workers, but also on materials. So, it's all more imperative that you can get the seas up and running so they can start getting freight coming from not just the north, but the south from different from parts of the ocean and neighboring coastal cities and towns. That being said, people for the most part seem to be doing all right. The guards are in full force. There is extra guard staff you can see present. Some that aren't even necessarily part of this operation that might have been sent to the town while you guys were gone for a few days. They're just helping lift things up, help wounded and stuff like that. Despite the recent attack, like I said, things don't seem to be too dire just yet. You can see kind of off in the distance as you walk by, like Breese kind of directing different people around with Hirata, and things are going around rather swimmingly. But eventually, you get to the guild hall. At the guild hall, you can see there's several guild teams, some outside kind of talking, a couple that are like sitting down. They look quite winded and tired, like they've been in a rough patch for a minute. There's about three or four teams, it seems like, collected of like 6 different people there. As you get to the door, you can hear there seems to be a conversation being had. You can hear Fari's voice, you can hear Quia's voice, and then you hear someone else speaking as you hear them say, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that we, they would say, what was that conversation about? Their conversation was, right, they would say, that's all that Gilgamesh is able to give at the moment. It's the situations there's a bunch of situations all across the Consortium, as you know. If we had more, we would, but... And that's when the door would open. Inside, you can see Shia, Quia, I keep saying Shia. Quia, who is... Wait, it might be Shia. Currently, like, speaking, holding a book to their chest, and, like, looks to be, like, the quest, like, counter book, basically, as they're speaking to someone who is standing with their arms to their side. They are draped in what looks to be a kind of black padded leather jacket, and there's a hood that is currently over, not over top of their head, but kind of like bunched up on their back. You can see that there is a you can see the pants they wear are slightly olive colored and seem to be made of a rather, well, rustic kind of linen, but and then there's also a little forked tail that sticks out of their out of the back of their pants, colored gray and ash.
That must be the guy.
Did you say that out loud?
Sure.
As you say that, the conversation stops and he kind of turns. He nods, and Shia will say, "Oh, well, hello. I'm happy that all of you have made it." And she kind of rushes over immediately to, like, give you kind of guys, like, either handshake or hug. Marliana likes hugs, as she knows, so she will give Marliana a hug.
Yes. Need more of those.
The Fari kind of, you can see, is sitting down right now, and they seem to be writing something down, and they are looking over at you all, and kind of, she looks over at Starsha, and kind of there's a slight smile, and looks at the rest of you and nods like, "It's good that all of you are alright." And she will sit up. The other man doesn't really say anything. He just kind of turns now, looking towards all of you. You can see he has long hair that is braided together. It is white, kind of going down the back of his, or going down his back. It's going down his back and then to both sides of the front of his head. His eyes are slightly white colored with a bit of gray sclera surrounding them. And he looks tired. Like a perpetual kind of, not really fatigue, just like tiredness about him.
He has that tiredness to his face.
Yeah. Like, you don't think he's tired, like, and like literally he just kind of looks like has like a tired expression. Oh,
well,
I would say another thing, Marliana, you might note this. He's got various battle scars strewn about his like neck and parts of his face. They don't make him look unpleasant, but you can tell he's very much been in his fair share of battles and has, well, wearing them, you could say.
That tends to go there. That goes directly to what I was wanting to do next. Whenever we meet some interesting new people, I'd like to roll an appraisal to check his,
Go ahead.
like, the physical side of him. All right. Can I roll good? No? Okay. Whatever. I'm not even gonna attempt to
What'd
make
you
that
get?
better. An 11.
I mean, as far as you can tell, with the series of scars and stuff across his face, he is definitely battle hardened. How battle hardened in comparison to some of you, like you and other people you know, hard to say. But he definitely looks to be, you know, a man of a certain stature.
Mm-hmm.
He will walk over slightly, and Fire will say, "Oh," and she says, I forgot to mention this. This is Devon," and he will kind of nod, and he will say, "Yeah, seriously, this is Devoni. He is the guild hand to the Pillar of Steel." He will nod as he walks over and stands before all you.
It's nice to meet, especially someone who's got such an impressive rank, it sounds like.
Hmm.
Jai reaches out their hand to give him a handshake.
As you do, you can see him kind of, his eyes, they're very quick, but it's almost like he's kind of looking everyone up and down initially. And then as Jai, you step forward, his eyes like immediately go over towards you. And he will hold out his hand and shake your hand. He doesn't say anything, he just does so. And then he will say... he says, this team would be the team Echoes of Stardust, correct? Ari nods. Yes, this is the guild team I'm with now. He just kind of goes like, And he looks over. And, yeah, he just looks over all of you over, and he will say, I heard that all of you went back out to go and aid Group A. Were they able to deal with the situation? Were you all able to deal with the situation there?
Yeah, we took care of it.
Good. Then it means that we won't have to try to requisition more assistance and more materials for this operation. You were telling me, Shia, he kind of looks over, you were telling me, Shia, the projected losses currently. She says, yes, I was trying to be somewhat, we'll say, conservative with the projections, but realistically speaking, we'd only be able to field a few ships, maybe 5 at most. He kind of says, We'll have to wait for that report from Aaron or Hirata and see if the situation with Group A is as bad as we're projecting. But if it's not, maybe she gonna says, then perhaps 7 of the 9 that we were preparing would be ready. She says, how many days will it take? She says, 2, as long as we can get to work immediately tomorrow. He kind of nods. Then you can lead he kind of says, then I will aid you in leading this particular part of the operation. She nods, like, affirmatively. Yes, but also, there's another situation we have to deal with. He kind of says, yes, in regards to the injured, correct? She nods. I might have to ask Hirata for a favor again. He just kind of thinks and trails off. All of you. He'll look back to all of you and say, you've dealt with these creatures. Actually, he would use a different name. He wouldn't say creatures. He wouldn't say water chimera. He would say, as I look up the name, because I think I remember what they're called, but I'm gonna make sure I don't misquote. They are called... Oh my god, there it is. He would say, You've dealt with the pseudocratic elemental chimera now several times from what I've been reading in in the reports. He says, what is your assessment of them? He says, I want honesty.
Well, there's a new one. I assume you're talking about the chimera we've been fighting. That's what we called them, at least.
He kind of looks. He nods. Just he doesn't really like chuckle or anything. He just nods.
Well, the smaller ones aren't really too bad, and even the larger water ones can be dealt with. But we fought a new one today.
A new one. He kind of thinks.
It looked like an evolution of the water chimera. Its bone structure was more defined.
He kind of says a pseudocratic grafted elemental form. So.
Marliana just nod to that. That's a mouthful. I'm not even gonna try.
Sasha's like, Sasha, you can see is writing this down.
I am too, but
you're like a pseudo.
I'm sure an issue, but I am.
Jai is what?
Jai is also writing this down.
Starsha kind of looks over and says, wait, I thought you were telling us, Tarmela, that the guild hasn't seen them yet. Tarmela says, as far as I was concerned, I didn't think we had. He says, it's been somewhat hushed information for the time being, but there's been some new developments over the last several weeks that have not been disseminated among the rest of the guild yet, nor a lot of the people around these areas. It wouldn't be surprising considering the Southern Lapis Province current situation for you all to not have heard of it. I do not, Igana says, this is not a disrespect to your intelligence. It is merely a matter of information being slow. Sasha says, would you give us an update then? He says, gladly. The creatures that we have been collectively calling tidal elements followed by chimera. It is easier for common speak. You do not need to stop calling them that. But in our books, in our details, he would say yes, in our records, we record them as pseudocratic elemental forms or pseudocratic elemental chimera. The element in question differing depending on certain factors. It seems as though these creatures have been grafted together using an unknown ritual, or series of unknown rituals. For what purpose, we're not exactly sure, but they began appearing a year or so, he would say around 2 years ago, and only increased in abundance since then. No, to be frank. Go ahead.
Are you referring to the grafted that have been to, or
no? He's talking about. He's just talking about in general these.
All right, I thought so. I just wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. If you asked him, he would also clarify. In general, the water chimera. These newer forms only started appearing around a month or so ago, in small quantities, but I believe similar to the other pseudocrastic chimera, they will begin to appear more in abundance over the next few weeks to months. Sarsha kind of says, you mentioned a ritual. How were you able to find this? He says, we stumbled recently, he would say we recently stumbled across one of these ritual sites. It was not exactly a pretty sight, as some creatures would call it. Bones, gristle, bodies, strewn about the area. Cadavers, kept in a particular way. Whoever is doing this isn't just someone that, I guess it isn't just someone handy with a knife. They have a particular alchemical understanding, as well as enchantability of them.
It also seems like they have a great understanding of deep energy.
He
I would
nods.
think.
He kind of says, yes, though deep is, I believe, merely a by... or no, he wouldn't say deep. He says, though there's other elemental forms, it seems that water chimera seems to be the most prevalent. He says, my assumption, based on the evidence we have, is that has a particular... There's something particular about those forms that whoever's making them has a predilection towards. That, or they're the most resourceful for where they're commonly being used. Most of the attacks they've had have been across the coast or in the oceans, places where Earth Chimera would probably not be well suited. Starsha kind of says, so you're saying that these are made of, yes, the bodies of humanoids for the most part and other types of beasts. You can see Feldt kind of like shivers a bit when he says that.
Oh, we should tell him about the odd person. I'll look to Homey, see if Lewis is there.
Is he?
I don't know.
No, that's alright. Starsha will inform him. She'll say,
Yeah.
as you say that, she kind of looks over and says, you're right. There was a figure that we saw out in the wilderness. A figure draped in some type of black shadowy mass or robe. They meant we weren't able to communicate fully with them. They spoke at us though through our minds. So he kind of thinks and notes for something. You can see like he's like pulls out a notebook, like literally taking note of something. She says, and she'll just recite like basically what you saw and says, or what you all saw. She says they thanked us for, I assume, taking out the chimera, and then they told us something specific towards the end. And she kind of looks over. And she kind of thinks and she'll recite, beware the scourge of the seas, the one who heeds the whispers. Does that mean anything to you?
Also in whispers.
He kind of thinks. He stops when she says that. Perhaps, but it's something I will need to send word to look into. And he'll put his pen down and put his book in his back pocket. For the time being, though, we should worry about the operation at hand. Yeah, it says. Again, it says most of the guild teams will need to send some of their own if possible to aid with preparing things for the ships. This will be a large operation. You'll want to prepare yourselves for it. The guild can offer some supplies for free to participating teams. And on top of that, we will also be providing, of course, normal room and board, as well as some meals expressly paid by us. Starsha nods. I would like to thank you all as well for so far your actions in this particular operation. You've saved many lives, even if you don't realize it yet. We just need to ensure that we save more by dealing with the situation on the coast.
We'll do our best.
He nods. I expect nothing less. And I imagine nothing less. And there's like a slight smirk for a moment, and then he goes away. He will say,
What an interesting guy.
he'll turn around, he'll say, no then. He kind of says, Shia, if you wouldn't mind, I need you, he says, follow me to Hirata. So he'll walk out and say, she's like, yes sir. Also, about that particular thing about me taking Fari's position, and he kind of like, as he turns up, he says, it has already been decided. As like, by the way, they're saying this as they're walking out, he's like, it has already been decided. Both Fari agreed, as well as the other authority with Gilgamesh has already agreed as well. there's no problem. You've been accepted. He's like, sure. Is Kane? She kind of says, Kane will be accepted as your helper as you requested. It says, she's just kind of like, you can see there's like a smile on her face, like, oh, thank you. Oh, also, what was this about? You mentioned a comment earlier as the door is shutting you here. You mentioned Hirata, an old friend. What did you mean by that, sir? And then the door closes. Starsha kind of notes.
Not getting that answer.
Old friend? What does that mean?
Who's to say?
Time Mela kind of looks over.
Boys gotten around.
And it says, oh, right. I did forget about that. Right, Devonian, to my knowledge, Devonian and Hirata are former friends, to my knowledge. I remember reading something about it. In passing, of course, she looks back over. Though, I don't know if I'd say former friends. I mean, I don't believe that there's any ill will from what I've heard, at least. Though, I guess maybe there is. You see, Hirata joined with the Consortium, or I guess the Tide Pact, during the Rising War. Of course, obviously he was, we'll say, not a proponent of the things that the Consortium or the Tide Pact did, and to my knowledge, he did actually fight against those things and was one of the main reasons for the Consortium's turnaround towards the end of the war. That being said, he was still a soldier participating, and Devoni is from Nelfnir. Starsha kind of looks over like, why would there be a particular problem with that? She's like, oh, I'm not sure if you're read up on history, Starsha, but let's just say the Consortium did a lot of bad in Nelfnir. A lot of bad. She kind of looks to the side.
Which I know a lot about this.
Yeah, Jai would, being from Noblesse.
Well,
roll a
fair.
recollection or a local regal. Anyone like to? Well, recollection. You know what? I'll let you do it as well if you'd like. Marliana, recollection.
Wait, did I hear Marliana?
Yeah, Marliana. You can. Anyone can roll a recollection or a local regal.
You just sound a little quieter, is all.
Sorry.
Jai's gonna roll a recollection.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, same.
Damn. Jai took too many blows to the head.
That's
Jai's
fair.
a bit slower.
That's crazy.
There it is.
Oh, did you see the message in chat?
Yeah, I did.
I
Cause
did.
thank
I
you,
did.
because I was boiling in this room, and I'm like, I'm gonna die of heat stroke.
I was boiling too, and I'm like, wait, it only says it's 76 outside. That don't make any sense. And I looked at the thermostat, and why did it say it was 92 in here?
It is boiling in this
That's crazy.
apartment. I'm
I
not.
would've probably had heat stroke.
I was like, man, I don't get hot that easy, and I'm boiling, and I'm like something, and I'm like, it can't be that hot outside. Like, it keeps saying 71 on my computer, but I'm like, maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm just like, something's wrong with me. I'm like, maybe my temperature got thrown
I
off.
thought I was having hot flashes and showing metabolic symptoms.
Oh my god! All right, thank you. Because as soon as I heard the sound for a moment, and I felt something cold on me. I'm like, that's nice. Wait, I didn't cut the air on. Thank you.
I was really trying to hold out because I know I'm gonna have to turn the heat back on next week once it gets cold again. But like,
right, but that's next week.
yeah.
But in any case, what were your rolls? Sorry.
A 13. Jai has brain damage. Let me stop.
What was your roll, Marliana?
Yeah, you got better than me. I got an 8.
Oh, Marliana has brain damage. Starsha has even more brain damage.
We all got hit in the head a lot.
Yeah, man, I guess those blows you guys took in combat, despite Starsha not taking any damage in combat, really started affecting you now. You guys don't recall much. What was the highest roll? 11? was the highest roll?
The
No, I think
highest,
I got
Jai
a
rolled.
13.
A 13? Okay.
Yeah.
Jai, I'm gonna give you this because like I was only thinking like a 14 or a 12, so I'll just give it to you. Jai, you recall, and this is more because you were a former well, not former, you are a noblesse citizen. I'm sorry. I was thinking of someone else. I
No
was gonna
fear is
say,
someone. Sorry.
yeah, someone
That's
else,
so funny.
but you have heard about this, because, well, the consortium, as has been iterated and will continue being iterated in this campaign, did a lot of bad in the Rising War. They were a very bad imperialist empire. They weren't the only one for, across the waves, but they did a lot of bad to their neighbors. Notably was the people of Nelfnir and country of Nelfnir, which is now kind of a smoldering pile of ash that is destitute with like only a few settlements barely held together, and vagabonds that roam with extremely powerful monsters all coursing around the area. This is because they basically sacked Nelfnir. For those that are not familiar with that term, let's just say they did a lot of, we'll say, tearing apart of the land and doing a lot of bad to the people to exploit them.
War crimes, if you will.
Yes, definitely war crimes. If the guild had existed, there would have been a lot of people going to trial, to put it lightly. The guild did not exist during the initial assault of Nelnir, and that is definitely the word I would use. The guild had been, or not guild, sorry, I'm wrong nerd. The consortium had been, this was during the initial parts of the Rising War, where a lot of forces and groups were not prepared for the initial push by the consortium. Nelfnir, a small island nation that really kind of kept to itself and didn't really have a lot of allies, like with the Memorians and the Noblessians, kind of was one of the main places singled out. And there is some very, very credible accusations that some of the reasons this land was sought out was not only for resources and territory, as Nelfnir was a staging ground that was used by the consortium for attacking the southern part of Noblesse, but also because Nelfnir's populace was very harmonious, and it's notable because they were a land of mostly humans, fiends, and elves, or together. Their people, despite, we'll say, overarching historical issues between some of those groups, were actually pretty chill with each other. There were various tribes and such that helped out some of the settlements that were relatively more native. Elves who had elves and fae who had left the named noble fae houses and kind of decided to settle there. And fiends who also decided to leave Dogma and parts of the consortium where they were being brutalized and such, and settle there as well. And it was kind of like their own little haven. It was believed, especially with the pseudo-religious actions, we'll say, justifications given for the kind of Manifest Destiny style expansions of the consortium. Nelfnir was made an example of deliberately, to kind of couch certain issues, or not couch, so kind of suppress certain issues in the consortium as well as it pertains to like fiendish or beastkin and other things like equality and equity. Nelfnir was, like I said, an example, and they definitely made it an example. Inevitably, though, this would kind of all fall apart as the consortium had to start pulling out of areas, as we know, because they started losing certain large engagements, and they had to cut back to kind of protect their own their main territory and main land masses. But by that point, there were several incidents on Nelfnir that led to their pullout kind of happen. It would have happened regardless, even if they had managed to keep their kind of borders safe before. It's not exactly known why. It's believed that some of these might have been due to the consortium kind of fucking about and digging in areas they shouldn't be. But Nelfnir has several sacred sites that, for the Nelfnir people at least, you're not supposed to go there, you're not supposed to mess with the things there, or be very limited and safe with it. They did not heed those warnings, as they saw that there were resources to be had, especially that of enchanting material and possibly metals and minerals. when doing so, one of them happened to awaken a certain type of elemental creature that proceeded to devastate a portion of the landmass, enrapturing it in fire and ash. Another one, well, they kind of unsealed what was believed to be, or either unsealed or awoke some type of elder beast. And when this happened, a good third of their forces were decimated by this elder beast.
Ooh.
And the unfortunate thing is, they don't know where it is. They assume it's still on the island, but it's not exactly known. And and I should say one of the other thirds, the one third managed to escape. The other third disappeared when walking into a central area of the forest in Nelfnir. They were investigating some type of alchemical creation. Specifically, they referred to it as the Red Root. And they never came back.
You say the red root?
Yes.
Cool.
They never came back.
Creepy.
It is.
Yeah, well, the Consortium fucked around and found out, so, you know. That's,
Deserve
That's
it.
what they do. They love doing that.
they really did. But, you know, a third of them came back and they were like, so, that land that we had, we don't have it anymore. And I don't think anyone has it anymore. So, yeah. So yeah, Nelfnir is basically an unlivable hellscape right now. I mean, there are people that live in Nelfnir. Like I said, like 3 settlements barely held together that basically have a city-state style like governance. But past that, either pirates all hide around the islands there, or you go in and get mauled to death by like abominations that are randomly in the area because of the unstable like ecosystem. So, you know, there have been, unrelated to what you rolled, but there have been pushes for a return to Nelfnir, especially some of the refugees that wish to do it. And there have been plans drawn up by the guild and such to reclaim the area for those people. It's just not been in the cards because of mainly still pre-existing issues around the Lapses region. However, cough, cough, wink, wink, with the recent, we'll say, not change, the recent appointment of the Lapses Spear initiative that's being signed, there is a new kindled kind of belief that the Lapses Spear initiative might be able to do this in the future. But yeah, there you go.
Pirates.
Mm-hmm. Pirates.
Does Marliana say that out loud?
Yeah.
Jai's gonna be like, don't look at Rebecca.
I actually have interest in other pirates, and I wonder if some of the stronger ones would be there.
Starsha says it would make sense, wouldn't it? I mean, that area sounds like it's desolate. I'd imagine only those that are foolish, daring, or trying to hide would stay there.
Well,
Actually,
if they do
Yeah,
decide to
okay.
reclaim the lands, could be an interesting thing to do.
perhaps. But in the future. Anyway,
Mhm.
as this relates, you said that Devoni is from there? Tara Malin nods. Yes. He was from what I understand, he was a refugee from there. He was involved in the resistance fighting, when the Consortium first came. I think he was also involved with some of the other fighting across the Consortium before the guild formed. Devoni is actually one of the original guild guardians, or guild people, protectors. That's why he was a pillar. Or, yes, was a pillar. But, for whatever reason, I guess he stepped down from that, and I believe he got into a fight with Hirata at some point. I mean, I can only imagine, right? They were on 2 opposing sides. I guess it's possible they never saw each other. But if there was any split in their friendship, I'd imagine it was over that. It's a shame what war does to people.
It's a shame indeed.
Bari kind of looks over. But that's why... She says, but that's why we're here, as part of the guild. To hopefully avoid situations like that again. Or limit them if we can. And Tyra just nods. Yeah, right. So she says, well... We can figure that out later. Everyone should get some rest. Besides, we have a long day. We're going to have another eventful day tomorrow. She kind of like fishes out the heirloom, and you can see it's actually like glowing a little bit. It's been reacting ever since we get back into Mogah. We're near whatever it's doing, or whatever it's calling me towards.
Well, they said a couple days until they're prepared. Might as well keep busy.
She nods. Taramela like leans in. Ooh, what's that you had hiding there in your chest? She just puts it back. It's like fishes it back down. She's like, something that you don't need to worry about. She's like, aww. She kind of says.
To be fair, we don't know a lot about it either.
She just like Sergeant looks over at you like, Marliana, you. She's like, oh, that makes sense then. Wow, why did you just say that, Starsha? Based on what I saw. She kind of thinks, Sergeant's like growling at you, and she's like, based on what I saw, I'd say that that's probably either related to the Nexus and Ajeta, or if I had to relate, maybe Architekian. And she kind of like stops, like, what did you say? Go ahead, Jai.
Marliana, remember when we mentioned when I mentioned the art of silence?
Yeah, well, it sounds like Starsha's interested in what she has to say.
Starsha kind
That
of
wouldn't
turns.
happen without speaking up.
Starsha turns over to you like, you don't get to own this.
Every word I said was intentional. I say as a player, not as Marliana.
Yeah, no, it's Marliana. Taramela kind of says. She kind of leans over like, oh, yeah, interesting. She kind of says, hardly. You probably don't know anything anyway. She kind of says, I've come across a few artifacts from both groups. And yes, I do recall that it has similar iconography and design to them. Though, if I had to wager a guess, it's broken, right? Or it's missing components. She kind of looks over. Yes. How do you know? She said, well, I've seen a hacking device from a Nexus and Ajeta. Well, I guess it would be a wreck before. A few years back, when I was in Dogma, we were investigating some type of situation where some debris had fallen from the sky. Come to find out, it was some type of vessel. Though, not one I think most of you would expect to see. This one flew in the air. Very odd shape.
What's that supposed to mean?
Here says, nothing. But, regardless, when we went and investigated the situation, turns out that it was of Nexus and Ajeta and Architekian design. Which is funny, I'd never heard of a group like a Nexus and Ajeta before, but the person I was with, who was much more of a scholar than I was quite aware of them. It told me these stories about people that walked the stellar sea, journeyed across, and were made of the stars themselves in some cases. They left a lot of artifacts lying in orbit around Drakar, and sometimes they fall down. And he said this just happened to be one of them. One of the devices we saw resembled kind of yours, though different. But he said they were some types of hacking or key devices. I think he said they could be used to open things from them. Maybe vaults and stuff, similar to Architekian ones. Just a guess, though. But like you said, nothing interesting. She kind of gives like a court smile. Sasha just kind of... So you had something interesting to say. It's not exactly like it's not exactly like the information is going to change much about what we're planning to do tomorrow. Like, I know, but still. She kind of just smiles.
Starsha complaining about information, holds hand to mouth.
Sasha just like bite it, looking over at you. Taravela just chuckles a bit. Well then, if we are going to go all go to sleep, I'm going to go take a bath. She'll just head off down the hallway.
Can Jai go look for some potions or something?
Are you saying that out loud, or are you just saying, like, do you want to go? Because you have some in the wagon.
What potions are in the wagon? Jai would like to rummage through them.
I'm looking, because I took some bandages.
Jai's feeling a bit uneasy.
After that last engagement. So I forgot you guys got a health horn too in one of the recent combats. Someone should probably take that.
What was it?
A health horn.
Oh yeah, I remember looking at that thinking that's cool, and then just kept on moving.
Mm-hmm. Anyone can use it. It's I can tell you what it does real quick.
That would be cool. Also, I should pull up the inventory. I don't know why I don't have it.
3 charges while holding it. You can use an action to expend a charge to heal up to 3 creatures. That heals 2d4 plus 2. It's not a lot of healing, but 3 creatures giving you a light potion of healing for 1 action is pretty good.
Ooh,
That's pretty cool.
Jai might be interested in it.
Yep. When you use the last charge, roll a d20. It regains 1d4 minus 1 charges daily. And if you expend the last charge, you need to roll a d20. Otherwise, and if on a 5 or lower, the horn is destroyed. So be careful of using all the charges at once. Besides that, though, you are looking for not food, potions.
Where's the newest stuff kept?
Where's the what?
Oh, never mind. I'm just looking at how it's all organized, but I see.
Okay. So there is some nature's ointment with 4 uses in it. I guess it's 2 of them. So that's nice. So 4 uses each in them. Those heal. They can be applied to a creature's wounds within 10 minutes after taking bleeding, earth, or poison damage from any source, or if applied to 10 minutes within the end of an encounter during which they took that damage. It heals for 3d6 plus 6 health points, and additionally cures any lesser poison and stops the bleeding condition.
Jai would like. How many of them are there?
You have 2 of them. Each one has 4 usage. It's like a jar of ointment. That weigh about 2 pounds.
Jai would like to grab one. Can you
Okay.
send me the information for that?
I can.
I'm just now seeing that we have 2 endless quivers.
Okay, I was gonna ask about that. I don't know why that's there. My assumption was it might have not been deleted from when I last had something there, but I don't know. Do you guys recall getting an endless quiver? Because I don't recall anyone getting one.
I remember getting 1, I thought, but I didn't remember having 2.
There's maybe a chance that something got copied wrong, so just delete one. All right, here you go. Do you want me to? I'll just copy and paste it because it'll probably be easier.
Yeah, it works.
No. There we go. You can put the little middle. Actually, yeah, you can put the little middle line bar in there on your sheet if you'd like, or you'll probably reorder how you do it anyway. So there's that. It has 4. You can put the 4 usage like anywhere. It doesn't say it on the item, but they're 4 uses.
Did you put it directly on my sheet or send it?
Oh, do you want me to put it directly in your sheet?
Nope, I can put it directly on my sheet.
Okay, I sent it in the chat.
Oh.
And then the other healing items, you guys have 20 simple bandages, 2 light potions of healing, and 7 greater potions of healing. Oh, and then you have 7 intermediate bandages. The bandages...
I would like to grab 3 greater potions and 1 light potion.
Alright, go ahead. So that's gonna be... I'll decrease that. You said how many graders? 3?
3 graders and 1 light.
Okay, so 4 there. And then 1 light. Alright.
Also, Jai is going to put 20 gold in the cart. Because Jai feels like they're rummaging through too much.
Jai doing an Alfredo and just looking like headfirst dumpster diving to the party's wares. It's fine. Starsha... Oh, actually, Charlamea is actually gonna go and grab, like, before Starsha hits the bed. Charlamea is gonna pull Starsha over. She's just like, I need to talk with you about something. And then she's also going to go and find you, Jai. And pull you off up to the side.
Jai is gonna try to hide and shove the potions into a bag as fast as possible.
As you do, you kind of like
For Charlie.
roll me an agile hands. I want to see how, like, as you're placing the gold and like swiping everything in your pockets, how well you do it without getting caught.
Can I roll a stealth instead of agile hands?
You know what? Fine. I'll let you do a stealth. All right.
Okay.
Dice has you roll a 3.
Your stepson is trying to summon you.
Yeah, I can hear.
I can hear him echoing through both of our
Hello.
mics.
Why are you doing it? Hi. Are you hungry? Is that what it is? You can come in for a bit.
I rolled a 27.
A 27. Oh man, it feels so much better.
It does.
Alright, if you do too much, you're going out of the room. Alright, you got 27?
Mhm.
Let me see something real quick. Ah, you're lucky. Oh, hello. Someone's in my lap now. Sit down.
I think he wants attention and not food solely because I think he would have like came and started nipping at me if he was hungry,
That's
especially because I
true.
was close to him.
He is licking my heel right now.
He like I was like looking at him and I rubbed his head and he walked away from me and started picking at the door. So I
Hello,
think he just
Alfredo.
wants your attention.
I'm in the middle of recording. I can't. For those that are not aware, Alfredo is the name of the cat that is currently on my lap. He is a very big cat, and his nails have not been cut. So he is... Alright, well don't smack your head against the wall. Or the table. I don't know if you heard that donking sound. That was him.
He's a little goofy boy.
He is a bit special. Oh, and he wishes to say... Do you wish to say hi to the people? Oh, I see what you're doing. You want the beef jerky. You can't stop rubbing yourself in my beef jerky. And nope, you can't have your head in the bag.
Wait, I'll go bring him some beef jerky for cats.
Yep. There you go. Beef jerky is being grabbed. Alright, he's out. Apologize for that technical difficulties. Okay. Jai quickly swipes the potions under their you have like more of like a oh wait, we're not wearing the flare chain rope yet, so or are you?
Well, I thought I was.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you quickly swipe them under your robe, concealing them, and then drop the pouch of 20 gold in the thing and turn around as Tyomela and Starsha approaches, and Starsha's like, why exactly are you getting me up to do this? I was just about to go to sleep. She's like, it'll be worth it, calm down. And she just kind of says, fine, whatever. She says, there you are. We were looking for you. She looks, oh, what were you doing?
I was expecting the cart to see if there was too many damages and if there's anything I need to repair. You know I don't need to sleep, so I could repair it in the middle of the night.
She kind of says, I actually didn't know that. I guess
I
guess you're full of surprises.
Do I need to roll a misdirect on that one?
You can.
Naturally, would she believe me, or should I roll a misdirect?
Roll, Mr. Right.
Damn, shouldn't have said.
Didn't say anything.
I rolled a 20.
Alright. She doesn't seem to say anything else to it. She just kind of says, so, I need to talk with both of you about something.
That is?
Yeah, Sarsha's like, yes, what was it that you are going? She says, well, since one of you seems to be a little bit of a de facto leader, and the other one seems to be not too far off, I figured that any type of issues or something, I would bring up directly to you two. Starsha kind of says, that you probably want to talk to Fari about that then. She says, well, Fari does a lot of the oversight, but I feel like on the ground action is something that you two would probably do more of. Sasha just kind of sighs. So, what's the point? What is it you need? And kind of rubs her eye. And she says, first of all, she looks over at you, she'll look over at you, Jai. She does kind of look left and right a little bit before she kind of says, so, I noticed you summoned a Beogal. What's that all about?
I did.
Yeah, says, don't worry, I'm not here to rat out to the guild about this or something. Nor am I really nor am I going to get you in trouble with the authorities with the Consortium. There's no one else around right now, it's just us.
Could you repeat that? My earbuds.
Oh, the thing she said or the Beogal part?
The thing she said in the Beogal part.
Oh, she said, so, you summoned a Beogal and you said, I think you said something and she said,
I
don't
can't tell I
worry.
did.
Oh, yeah.
Step away for a second.
Okay. She said that, don't worry, she's not here to rat you out to the guild or to the consortium authorities. In fact, there's not anyone even around right now. She's made sure of it.
Okay.
And it's basically like telling you can tell her she's like you can come clean. So what was that about?
Yeah, it wasn't. Felt like it was beneficial.
She kind of looks over at Starsha. Did you know that she had the ability? Yes, she says, yes, I'm aware that she had the ability. All of us are. Well, Starsha says, maybe not all of us. I read a bit in the book and I was able to figure out that could be a possibility. Yeah, says, oh, so you've been keeping track of it, she kind of says. Just to make sure that Jai doesn't bite off more than they can chew. And it says, oh, quite considerate of you. Starsha kind of says, is that all? And she's like, no, it's not all I came out to say. I wasn't here to chastise either of you for that decision. In fact, actually, I agree. I think it is a useful thing if you can control it as an asset. Thing about certain powers are, as long as you can control them, they can become an asset over a hindrance. Besides, and she'll look over. You two aren't the only ones with a bit of weird tricks. Starsha kind of looks at her a bit and says, what do you mean? It's like, do I have to? She says, I want to keep it a secret. Starsha just looks over, kind of narrow eyes squinting at her. Like, why the fuck did you even call us out here if you were going to be coy? She's like, because it's fun teasing you two. That being said, though, I am here to help. You, Jai. Your summons. The Beogal you summoned was a more weaker form. I'm assuming that was more of because of your connection being limited thing. If that's the case, we need to find some way to make it stronger. Or moreover, we could find a way potentially to buff anything you summon.
I don't believe in rushing into relationships, but I'm not against hearing what you have to suggest.
She chuckles a bit when you say that. Well, Anna says, how about this? Some of my particular types of channeling is used to make wards and certain types of abjuration or conjuration effects on things. I might be able to help you make something that matches your affinity that could potentially you could use to buff any of your summons, whether they be Beogal or not. And I would probably recommend not summoning a Beogal in every potential area. Luckily for us, Aaron actually fell in the water, so he never actually managed to see what you summoned. And the only one that did is dead. Is that convenient? She kind of puts her hands on her hips. Sasha's like, you're being quite coy about the person that died. Sasha said, and she kind of looks over. Oh, don't jest. I know both of you two are not exactly falling apart at the seams that they're dead. Besides, it hid two secrets that both of you had, your Luna and their Beogal connection.
I tried to save the troops.
Sasha kind of
You can't
nods.
deny that.
So she's like, I know you did, and you didn't intend for them to die. I'm just saying it was convenient. Though that does sound like making an accusation. I'm sorry. Sasha says, it sounds like something like that. Well, I assure you I'm not. I'm just pointing out the obvious. That being said, how about it, Jai?
I'm interested.
Says, maybe something like a cloak of lightning could be good. Something that's thin enough that can drape over a creature with little amount of control. It might require you to concentrate slightly, at least until you can get a full mastery of the ward. But I think I could make something similar to how I do my wind vein field, but more for lightning. Well, I guess more for you and your lightning. Hoja said, alright, why was I brought out here for this? She's like, she kind of says, because I want to know why, she kind of leans over, why are you holding back so much? Sasha says, come again. She says, I want to know why you're holding back so much. Sasha kind of looks over. I'm holding back because, one, we shouldn't be showing everything we have to an enemy that, as you just suggested, might be trying to psych us out and see what we can do. And two, I'm not looking to get spiritually lobotomized in the Consortium. It's like, oh, I thought they stopped all that mess. So I was just like, I'm not trying to tempt fate.
Don't worry, I wouldn't let them spiritually lobotomize you.
So Tommy was like, neither would I. And I mean it.
I would just summon a brood of Baelgol on them. Then they can't do it.
Looks over. If somebody did attempt to do that to
joke.
one of you two. she, when you say it was a joke, as she just realized what you said, Sasha's like, Sasha looks over like, can you do that? Charmaila's like looking like, really?
Perhaps. Who knows?
I'm gonna need you to roll misdirect.
Okay.
I guess the thing is, it's not inherently okay. Part of it's a lie. Part of it, I don't think the sentiment was untrue. It's just more like I don't think you can't do that right now. Not that you wouldn't do it if you could.
Yeah, but we also wouldn't get into the situation right now. This would probably be much further down.
Right. But like, yeah, we'll go ahead and roll misdirect. But like, it's clear that you're not lying about the intent, but like the ability. So yeah.
Did we long rest yet?
No. You were right about to.
Jai rolled an 8. But Jai is going to follow up and say, I know it sounds a bit harsh, but hear me out. Would you rather a brood of Baelgol be summoned on a bunch of Consortium folk who are trying to kill you, or would you rather die, you know?
Starsha kind of looks over. When the threat is spiritual lobotomization, Starmaila's like, that's basically death, to be fair. Starsha's like, fair point. Sure, you're right. Alright, I guess that's the case. Starmaila's like, that's pretty hardcore. I
Kill
like
two birds
that,
with
though.
one stone.
He kind of says, I like that, though. That's a good amount of, that's a fair amount of quick decision making. And the abrasiveness to get it done. Moxie, I guess. Starsha's like, Janice, it's not the first time you've complimented us. Starmaila's like, I haven't been being mean to both of you without, for any particular reason. You both are the ones that usually start it.
Perhaps I'm just don't like having conversations first thing in the morning.
Starsha
Sometimes I
says,
do enjoy the art of silence.
Starsha also looks over. You'll also have to forgive us for us having these types of secrets and not exactly trusting some random person that waltzes over and says they're our chaperone. He says, right, that's fair. But still. Starsha kind of sighs. Fair, fine. She says, that being said, back to my question. She's like, this again. She's like, I answered that question. She's like, well, yes and no. What I mean is, those answers are right, or, moreover, acceptable. I don't disagree that we shouldn't be showing everything we can do. What I mean is, your reluctance to use a lot of your abilities seems quite odd. Not to mention, what? She says, not to mention, I noticed something else. You're weighing yourself down. Sasha's like, kind of looks over, come again. She says, well, spiritually speaking, I don't think you're literally weighing yourself down, unless we're talking about your chest. Starsha just like stares at her. She's just like, I'm just joking. But seriously though, you're wearing spiritual cuffs, or more of a spiritual limiters. Starsha just kind of looks over at you, looks back at Taramela, and just kind of sighs and says, I have reasons to believe that I might not be able to keep in control as much if I use certain abilities. She's like, but you haven't been
Perhaps,
using those abilities. She's like, yes, but if I had to, I would rather the option that I can prevent me losing control than that be more likely. Go ahead, Jai.
Jai was gonna make a joke and say perhaps Starsha just likes wearing cuffs. But Starsha said that already, so like,
So I don't really kind of things. Well, I suppose that makes sense. And I won't force you or anything like that, but don't you think that your party can deal with a situation that could arise if you lose control? Sasha says it's unpredictable, and I don't like unpredictable things. Sasha, she
you
kind
can
of
keep
looks.
the cuffs on. I'm not complaining.
Taramela looks over and she's like, so you like to be in control in almost every situation. That's quite admirable, but I do think you could trust some of your party a bit more.
I support wanting to be in control.
Yeah, looks over. Well, regardless, that was just a curiosity of mine. Sasha kind of looks over and says, you seem to know a lot about it. Is there something particular? She says, what do you have hiding? What are you hiding? She's like, well, that's a seat. And she kind of just stares her down.
Jai stares as well. Jai would like to enhance the glare. Can we glare
Roll.
her into speaking?
Yeah, roll it up. What'd you get?
I haven't rolled yet. One sec.
Ah, okay.
Damn, Jai should try charm instead of glare.
What'd you get?
Still rolling. A 7.
Well, Starsha's was alright. She kind of looks over. Alright, alright. I think you already know though, Starsha. Starsha kind of looks over. Enlighten me. She'll hold
Jai
out
would
her
like to
hand.
roll soul sensing.
Yep, as they roll, you can roll soul sensing. Roll soul sensing, and she'll hold out her hand, and you'll see an arc of red lightning kind of across her palm that begins to shift into kind of a blackish, kind of a dark red and or deep red and black, kind of shifting back and forth. And something about the energy feels very unnerving initially and unpredictable almost.
Can Jai ask their Bailgol for insight?
Would you?
Oh wait, I know what I can do. Never
Huh?
mind. Jai's not gonna ask their Bailgol. Jai's something else
What are you gonna do?
that I literally never use. If I can find it. One sec.
Oh, good.
Did Jai have something where Jai can like axe the ether?
Oh yeah, Aether Guide is in your class. It's your first ability. You're asking the world, kinda.
Jai would like to ask the ether what. Jai can only ask one question, right?
What does the ability say? I don't remember. Because there's a couple abilities that work like this. I don't know how this specific one works.
It says you.
Aether Guide. Aether Guidance. First level ability or something.
Oh wait, no, maybe it's the wrong thing.
But that's giving
This
you an
says you can learn
uncanny.
the location of a being or the weakness of the creature, should you know its name.
Oh yeah, that's something different. Yeah, I mean that is Aether Guide, but it is not what it would help you here.
Does Jar have anything? There's an extra Bilgo.
The Beogal kind of like. What do you ask the Beogal?
Jar's an extra Bilgo. What ability is she using, or where does it come from?
What did you roll?
Jai rolled on the last roll Jai did. Was that a?
You got a 7 on your on another thing.
That was a soul sensing.
Yeah. Wait, no. Was it? Was that what that 7 was
Yeah,
for?
that was. Yeah, that was a
Oh,
soul
you got
sensing,
2
'cause the 7
7s.
before
Yeah,
that,
I didn't even realize that. Yeah. So
the 7.
your Beogal kind of comes into your mind and for a moment and says, that particular energy, I've felt it before. Rarely, though. It's... She kind of says, two peas in a pod, I guess it would seem. Paracastle. The particular affinity, though, my guess is chaos. Perhaps. Only if in juxtaposition to your compatriot there. And you kind of feel your eyes twitch towards Starsha. I would imagine it is not that. Is that what you say out loud? Or do you say that to Brave?
No.
Okay.
Jai says that to her Bilgo. Jai does not say that out loud.
Starsha
Jai
kind
says
of just...
fascinating out loud.
Starsha just kind of looks over. So, why did Hal send a chaos voter to our group? Starsha's, she's like, oh, don't need to be rude about it. Besides, you're not considering that you use lunar energy. I'd imagine it's for a similar reason that he chose you. Starsha looks over. Who knows? She says, well, outside of some of the upper echelon in the guild, and maybe some special officer reports, not many. I'm sure that Fari doesn't know, and I'm sure that Shia doesn't know. Devoni probably does, but that's about it.
Fari doesn't know that you're not chaos, a paracausal lord or starship?
That was Tarmela that said that. Who knows?
Oh, Fari doesn't know that
Tarmela
is
a chaos user, yeah.
chaos warder. Fascinating.
Starsha kind of looks over. I can see why they might. I could see why they might want to keep things somewhat hidden, but still. She says, to be fair, I seem to have a little bit more control over my abilities than you do if you're using limiters. Starsha just kind of like, gives like a look. She's like, oh, I wouldn't mean that to be rude.
Jai's just gonna say Starsha's just precautious.
Starsha nods. She kind of says, yes, though. Starsha kind of looks over. Well, in general, you can then, she says, and I'm guessing, then you can at least understand why I'm precautious. Or just why I'm cautious. Says, yes, just noting some things, like I said. Starsha,
I just realized I said the wrong word. It's cautious.
It's cautious, not precautious. Yeah.
We're just gonna disregard that.
Yep.
Precociousism.
Precocious, yes. Starsha kind of says, that being right, speaking of, I guess, being... she says, that reminds me of something. Jai, I did want to ask you, do you have any defensive-based magic?
I have a shield.
A physical or a spell shield?
A spell shield.
I was working on a spell, devising it at least, but I think it might be more apt for you to use. It can help with your defensive and offensive capabilities.
Hmm.
You can see Tamaya's like, "Ooh, you were working on spells." Starsha says, "Yes, in my, you can say in the interim while I was reading, which I just finished that book. Quite a few interesting things to note in it. But," she looks over, the spell I was making was called mirror echoes, or cosmic mirror echoes. But you could change its affinity to be something more lightning focused.
Hmm.
It's similar to the normal mirror echo spell, though it has a particular type of, we'll say, she kind of says it has a particular kind of shift to it to make it different. It can project she kind of says it can project a echo form of you that can act offensively when you attack.
How much damage does it do?
It says, well, its damage itself is low. It's tied to the amount of echoes you have. So the more echoes you have, the more damage you'll do. It does mean that if it's doing its intended purpose as a defense, you're losing out on damage, but any defense you have will be helping your offense.
Okay. I'm interested.
She says, I can outline how it works, but it'll take you some time to learn it.
Okay.
Tamaya's like, oh, look at us devising some new plans and such like that. Sasha just kind of. Sasha just kind of like looks at her. It's like, oh, and she's like, oh, I guess I'm overstaying my welcome. Starsha, if you do need any help with your paracausalness, I'm always around. Starsha just kind of looks. I'll think about it. I guess, yes. And she kind of. So she kind of says, but that was it. Oh, sorry, no, that was it. Tarmil was it. That was it. Well, in any case, you two get a good rest. I'm going to head off myself, and she will start to walk away. Sorry, she just looks over at you.
Follows.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go first.
Sorry, she just was looking over at you as Tarmil was walking away.
Jai's like following Starsha, and Jai's like, you don't really have to take off the limbers. Jai's just thinking about the vision.
The vision, yeah. Starsha's thinking like, I'm not planning on taking them off yet, but
Give me a heads up before you do. Like, just, keep it a bit distant.
She kinda thinks, just in case, she's gonna give you something out of her bag as you guys get back to the room. She's gonna give you the tranquilizer. This can take down a creature that's 3 times my size. It should be able to knock me out, given enough damage done to me. Just in case.
Okay.
And she will hand it to you, and she will head off to bed. So
Can you send me the information for the tranquilizer?
I can. It's probably in chat somewhere because I think these are the same ones that the party used on the dire cockatoo.
Small side note: Alfredo was like laying on me in the most adorable way possible, and right as I was about to take a picture, he moved.
Damn. Here it is. Trank Needle. I found it. It was in chat. I'm just gonna paste it again.
Are you ready to get tranquilized?
No.
That sounds bad.
No, I'm not. I don't want to get tranquilized. But yes, all of you now actually receive a long rest.
And then a level up.
And yes, a level up, which all of you have already should have done for the most part. So you all wake up a fair bit stronger than when you were. Some of you didn't just level up. Some of you got to roll AP. And by some, I mean me and Homey. Homey, I believe, is still asleep.
Homey
That's
was
fine.
very exhausted.
Well, yeah, Homey is also recovering from sickness, so I'm not surprised he actually like this is the one time he is. I am like, oh yeah, Homey being asleep is perfectly understandable. But we're going to go a little bit further. Well, not a little bit, a lot of it. So
Can Jai use the long rest as time to finish reading the book?
yeah, you can. You can read while you're resting, or yeah, while you're resting, because you have the ability to let activity. Start.
Does
I
it
would
count as
say
training time for my?
no. Training does not. You can't get training through reading normally. No. So.
That's fair. Does the book boost anything because it's related to my profession?
Well, when you finish reading it, you do get something from it.
Okay.
You keep track of your hours for the book. Once you reach the required time for it, don't you read things quicker?
Yeah.
We figured this out like a session or two ago, like how much time you need to read. So you should just check how much time you need to read the book in there.
I
So
have notes on it.
Yep. So you'll get 8 hours of reading. Actually, yeah, probably more than that because everyone wouldn't have gone immediately to sleep. You would probably got 10 hours of reading.
Ooh. Can Jai drink the last 3 cups of tea?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay.
Throughout that night. So you chug that. Everyone gets a nice little snooze. Jai, as you're kind of reading your book, there's a moment where you see the way the rooms are, there's like 4 people to a room, to a bedroom. Or not 4 people, there's 2 people to a bedroom. So you would probably be paired off with Starsha, ironically, for now. With Fari and Taramela being in the same room at the moment. You see something while you're reading glint off in the dark next to Starsha's bed. As you can see, she kind of tosses and turns in her bed a bit. You can see.
Can Jai
Go
look at it while reading?
When you kind of your eyes drift over and you kind of slowly saunter up and walk over, and you can see kind of between Starsha's bosom something glowing attached to a
Jai doesn't want to be a pervert.
cord. I mean, you know what it is. You can see it attached to the cord. It's just like she always keeps it in her chest.
Jai's just gonna go sit back down and finish reading.
Yep. It just makes like it just kind of flashes like every now and again. Probably at one point, you would hear it make some type of sound. And it goes like like a beacon sound, like a beep 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 beep, and then it just kind of stops. Like all of a sudden, and then it just seems to dim.
Jai's gonna mention this to Starsha when Starsha wakes up.
And you may, as everyone, you awake at around 8 in the morning, bright and early. Well, some of you awake. Yeah, it is a new day. It's a bit light overcast with some scattered showers, but nothing too crazy yet. It's predicted that later in the day, well, I guess you wouldn't know this, but you can roll knowledge, nature, geography if you'd like, looking outside.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ooh, and we should have the time dice rolled.
Yes, roll your time die, please, for Feldt and for Jai.
Okay. It might take me a second. I'm still trying to calculate how many hours I read.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Well, Feldt's gonna be fucking people over today, but that's it.
Because was that a 6 and a 4 I saw?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hey. Low rolls for someone else can be good, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say that anything she gets is ever really a bad thing.
Yeah, it's just that, like, unfortunately, it's gonna be only
It
used
just
against.
depends on who's getting it, is all. Yeah.
Right. So, you know. But yeah, you awaken. Feldt will actually be in your. Will probably be with you, Marliana. Waking up.
Hmm.
She kind of like sits up a bit, rubs her eye, and stretches. You, if I remember correctly, don't really have issues getting in the morning, so you're just up, stretching, getting ready for the day. You can see there's a little bit of rain just pitter pattering against the wall and some gray, or wall, the window, some gray overcast.
While stretching, she'd noticed that her lost set of gills are back. The ones on her wrists and ankles.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that let her jump with water.
Feldt kind of looks over and she's like, "That looks new."
Wait, say it again?
She just said, "That looks new."
Oh, yeah. It happened when we were in our Qual'd time, I guess. But yeah, they're a form of mutation, I think, for the Marlis.
Mutation? Do I need to like? She gets up like she needs to check on it because of the way you
Oh,
were.
no, it's nothing like that. It's something that will allow me to use a move in combat.
Oh.
We use it for
Okay.
mobility.
Oh, so it's intended. I guess that's good then. I thought he used the word mutation, so I thought it was a bad thing. No, I guess
Yeah, it's something that
mutations aren't
happens.
always bad. I guess it depends on the type. Usually we don't use the term mutation, though. We use divergence, but anyway, yeah, you're like realizing like, oh, it's a good thing. She's like, okay, I don't need to be like immediately panicking about like someone telling, yeah, I just got a mutation. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Guess not the best way to word it to our medic.
Yeah, like, yeah, don't worry, it's a mutation. Everything's okay. You're growing a third arm.
Yeah.
Very normal
Hey,
for
the
my sister.
Carceps grow 2 arms, okay?
They do. Wake up one morning, or go to sleep, wake up the next morning, you have giant claws.
That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious.
It'd be something. Look, Marliana's not freaking out about it because it's already happened. We knew we were getting these back eventually. I mean,
Mhm.
I guess new isn't necessarily true. but-
Yeah, I mean, like, you could think, like, I'm probably gonna get these back if I go the same way I did in, like, Qual'd, but outside now. But, yeah. She kind of, like, after a moment realizes that, she kind of says, oh, right, one moment,
Can
I'm
Jai
just,
drink
go,
more
sorry.
tea? Can Jai drink more tea?
Aren't you
Three
out of
cups?
tea? I thought you drank
No.
all your tea.
Jai has 6 cups of tea left before the 3 I drink. So now I have 3 more cups left.
Oh, damn. Sure.
Jai bought a lot of tea. Okay. Jai can drink all of their tea, which will
Well,
give me. And
it's
also,
not just
Jai wants.
drinking it all at once. You have to pace it. So like,
No, pace it. But Jai also wants to read for another 2 hours after everyone wakes up. That
okay,
means that would give Jai 12 hours total of double reading.
okay. We'll see as that happens. You'll just be kind of walking and doing whatever as they're reading. So, was it Fari? Not Fari. Feldt will kind of look over to you, Marliana, and say, this looks like it's raining a bit. Is it all right if we still head out today then?
How hard is it raining?
Just light right now. I'm not sure about that overcast.
Well, it shouldn't be too bad.
She kind
We've
of
fought
just
in the rain before,
she nods.
and you guys could use some underwater combat experience. Or not literally underwater, but in the water.
Saoirse kind of, or not Saoirse, sorry, Feldt kind of nods, like, I guess. I wonder if it's she asks, I wonder if it's the cursed sea.
Mm,
Is there anywhere that Jai could buy more tea in the guild hall?
Nope, not in the guild hall at least.
Is there anywhere in the town, maybe? Perhaps before we go out?
I'll have to check, but I'm not sure. Maybe?
I think we got that from Qual'd.
Yeah, you got that
didn't
from
we?
Qual'd, so I gotta check if they actually are selling tea here. I wouldn't be surprised if
Every
they're
place,
not, but
I feel like every location should sell tea. Tea is a necessity in life.
Well, there's different kinds of tea, and each
different kind of
spot
tea. Yeah.
kind of has different forms.
So they might have
I mean,
less
it is a
potent
basic
tea.
one.
That's
Um,
okay.
Also, this is a town that it is getting help now because of the fact that they were literally like sectioned off from like supplies for a month, actually
Jai will
longer.
pay double for tea.
They might not have any.
Jai would like to walk and read on the search for more tea.
Well, while that situation's happening,
You'll be walking in the rain, your book might get wet.
yeah, Felt
Jai has the
will
robe on top of the book
Felt
and the
will
hood on.
look over when you say after you say the thing about the or your rebuttal, and she kind of looks and says, um, right, I should, she has to, I should also, she kind of thinks about it for a moment. She says, somebody should stay here to help with things, right? Isn't that what Mr. Devoni said?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We've got more than plenty of people.
Sheena thinks. She thinks, so should some of us stay here today to help? I guess that's what we were told to do.
Yeah.
She says you don't.
Probably only
Good,
at
sorry.
most 6 people
Sheena
going
thinks.
into the Starsha.
I guess I wonder if Starsha knows how many we should bring. She's usually the one that determines that thing. Her or Fari, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something we'll talk about once we go down and eat something real quick.
Oh right, they did say they're providing food for everyone. We probably should go see what they have.
We absolutely should.
He says, oh, right, Marliana,
Mm-hmm.
about, she kind of thinks, about the whole, she says, pushing yourself thing. Just, be careful.
Okay. I'll try to be more careful.
But yes, after that moment, she just kind of nods to you, and she will. Yeah, she will. I guess if you want to head down to go get food, you can. She will accompany you. Meanwhile,
Jai's gonna wait till after Starsha wakes up, tell Starsha about the necklace, and then go and search for tea.
I don't know if you all heard that.
I heard that they were speaking.
Yeah.
Something about Starsha.
So I will.
I can repeat it.
Okay, go ahead and repeat.
Jai is gonna wait till Starsha wakes up, tell
Starsha
Starsha about the necklace, and then go on a search for tea.
Jai's
Jai's
gonna
gonna
check
check the guild hall first to see if they just have tea there, and then search outward in the town afterwards.
I will check. You guys are in not Nagana. You guys are in Mogah. I could just control FT. That'd probably be the easiest thing.
Yeah, there's probably not a ton. I mean,
there is T. Oh well, I just realized something. T and tear are very. One moment. What if I do T comma? That's probably better because it's like T flavorful, T bland. All right. They do actually have tea somewhere. They have bland tea. That gives you nothing. That's in the Rivertail Tavern. And then... where is this? They do have tea exquisite at the fish market. That's funny.
What
They
is
got
tea?
tea exquisite, drinking 3 cups. Oh, you have to drink 3 cups to get. Wait, no, never mind. Wait, yes.
That's just for its
Is that,
saturation.
is that saturation? Yeah, you're right. So ignoring the saturation thing, which I guess is good because you get 2 days of saturation. For the next 4 hours, you double your reading speed. So this one's 4 hours. What was the other one? 2 hours?
Yeah, the other one was 2 hours.
This one's 4
How
hours.
much does tea exquisite cost?
360 gold.
Is their tea flavorful anywhere?
No. Actually, that's the thing. I saw soft drink flavorful, which has nothing to do with reading. Tea bland. No, they got a lot of bland tea here. Wait. Nope, that's in Lolo. They do have flavorful tea in Lolo, though, in case you're curious.
Jai will save up for tea exquisite.
360 gold. Yeah.
For a single cup of tea.
Yep. But hey, 4 hours of double reading is pretty good.
Yeah, not just like knowing that it has effects that makes sense, but can you imagine just a normal person? Like,
Yeah.
I want some of that exquisite tea.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
like, oh, that's like most of your wages for the year. For this single cup.
Look, when you really gotta cram for that test coming up, you know? Sometimes you gotta. Yeah, exactly.
That's just you after working at home.
I did not hear what you said. What?
But speaking of drinks and food and things, what is the guild? What's it providing?
Let's check. The guild prize. Let me take one of my earphones off so I can hear Jai better. Here we go.
I know it sounds like weird, but Jai is halfway done with the book that Jai just started reading, and that's why Jai is on a tea kick.
Speaking of which, I actually might pour myself some more. That or make myself a mocktail.
You need some tea flavorful.
Alright, here we go. I was like, wait, I don't see any things. They're part of the room, that's why. Okay. Well, that's sweet. You guys get party, modest meal. Oh, that's cool. You all get 10 temporary health points. I think this is from the room, actually. Yeah. After long resting here, you are granted plus 10 temporary health points for the next 8 hours. So it's not even until they're depleted. It's just like all of you get plus 10 temporary health points. Comes with a number of modest meals matching. Oh, okay. So those are normal. Okay, they're normal meals that don't have any necessary bonuses, but you do get the temporary health points. So there is actually not food listed for the Mogah Guild Hall, and I think that's just because it was might have been predating some of the food. So I'm gonna say, and I think this has already been specified, that they get some of their food from some of the neighboring places. Yeah, it actually says like the tavern. Okay, so let me just go to the Rivertail Inn. Let's see what they got. Damn, that's actually really good, but it's not an action meal. Are you guys looking? Do you just want meals in general, or do you want action meals? There's only one.
I wouldn't mind hearing the meals in general. I mean, some of those longer effects are pretty cool.
You're gonna like this one. It's just a short rest effect. Instantly 12 health points and 12 soul charges.
That sounds great.
It's not very expensive either. It's like 38 gold normally. I mean, you don't have to spend money for it this time, but it's really good. You can't, by the way, you can't get like 50 of them because they're free. It's like only one.
Right.
Well.
What? I mean, the health is cool.
What's the timestamp? 259. Sorry, right. I lost my train of thought. There's just a regular grilled meat, which is 12 health points. Nice, it's nice, not bad. One that gives you 10 temporary hit points for 2 hours. Buffing meat. This one's an
That wouldn't
action
stack
one.
on top of the guild meal or guild room.
I don't
effects,
believe
though.
it would. It would not. No.
Yeah.
I mean, you could eat
Honestly,
it
a lot of
after.
these meals sound like good meals to eat after a day's worth of combat. You know?
Right, right. Or like at least during, like, you get a
Yeah, like if you
combat,
could take
and
them
then
to where you were at.
right, right. Hot potato stew for the next 4 hours as an action. You can. This is an action meal. You can make a DC 15 agility deafness checks if you succeed. Difficult terrain does not cost extra movement until the end of your current turn. That's not terrible, but like,
Very
eh.
specific.
Yeah, very,
Yeah.
very specific. Crazy rice. Okay, this one's actually really good.
Oh, I think I remember crazy.
Yeah, until the end of your next long rest, your sanity score cannot be decreased. That's actually a really good meal.
How much is that?
When have we ever had to worry about sanity from this point on?
Hey, I lost some sanity a while ago.
Don't tempt fate, homie. Don't tempt fate.
Also, when you see down friends, you lose.
Yeah,
some
you lose
sanity.
sanity. Yes.
I don't
you
think
lose.
that's something we've kept track of yet, but that is something we should probably start once we get into Act 2. Or
I
I'm the
will.
person that has been going down.
Yeah, you're the only one that has been going down, so yeah.
Well, I
Jai will
mean,
be
for the
fine.
most
Jai's
part.
like the plus 20 insanity.
And I did once,
Don't worry.
but yeah, homie wouldn't have to worry because he's not the one seeing it. He's the one experiencing it. Would that also make you lose sanity? I don't know if that's a thing.
I think it
Wait.
does, but I think there's specific ways it has to happen, like getting injured or something.
How much sanity did
Sanity did Jai lose by seeing the first temporary party die? Or
Like
go down?
10, like 10 or 20.
So Jai lost
their
Those are
entire
two very
run.
different
Did it ever go back up?
Yeah, it went up. At this point, it went back up. I think it was 10. That's why I didn't like really record it, because by this point it would have went back up. Well, I mean, I recorded it. I just didn't roll
Every
anything.
week, right?
Yeah, it's every week.
And
I
homie
mean,
helps us
there's
with our
drinks, I
sanity
guess.
recovery.
You know what? None of these drinks matter. Never mind. Like for what you would want.
But the effects, we wouldn't want them right now.
No, one of them is literally, 2 of them are just, hey, you get saturation, and one of them is like, hey, you get to make a bonus. You get a. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but one of them is like, hey, you get a +2 bonus against effects that wouldn't put you to sleep.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
that's coffee.
it's coffee. Like, so yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the
we
main.
just use a free meal after we get back.
Yeah,
No harm.
it feels like you might want to get a rich burger after you guys come back. That's the 12 HP, 12 soul charges.
They got any more of them quick sandwiches?
No,
Quick meal sandwiches?
no. I don't think you were. You might have been like waking up as that was happening, but no, there's mostly short rest meals here.
And the one action meal, it was to try to not
avoid
feel the
difficult
effects of
terrain.
the-
Yeah.
Yep.
But you do get 10 temporary health points.
But we already got 10 from our room, so.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought. Okay, yeah. Yep, temp health. Hey, I mean those healing meals would be nice when we know we're definitely gonna have a long day. Like the day of the battle, we might want to
Yes.
get one of those to go.
Get one to go, yeah. But yep, you know, I'll probably look for more. I'll look around for the food stuff in this section, to see like what I can do, because they don't actually have any. But that's fine. I'll just probably extend it and be like, you know what, they can get food from the other people around. So yeah, 10 temporary health. So I guess yeah, we'll start. Jai, we'll go with you and Jai. So Jai, you woke up. Starsha would have woken up as well, and you said,
I didn't wake up. Jai
right,
was all right.
Jai, you're up already. Starsha wakes up, and you said you were gonna go and tap them about something.
Jai sees Starsha waking up, and Jai, while still having their head in a book, looks at Starsha and is like, your bracelet was glowing. And making noises. I was gonna make a joke and say it was quite disturbing. I had to cast silence just to be able to read my book. No, I'm messing with you. What else is connected to that bracelet? I mean necklace. Are you sure your father couldn't? I don't know, but I think if it's a distress signal coming from it, probably not an enemy that needs help. It's probably a friend. I need to find a tea supplier. Hmm. We should probably ask them if they're cool staying first. I can walk and read at the same time.
Hmm. That's interesting. It was them. Mm-hmm. Will do. Oh, sorry? Question mark? Well, if she's free to come along, then that's great. Hmm. Well, that's good for Shia. Or Kuya? To be fair, I don't know if I've ever said it that way. All right. Oh, wasn't I supposed to roll in nature some time ago? No, completely forgot about it. All right.
All right, all right. We're back. There was a mild pause there just so I could get a drink real quick, which is funny because anyway, we'll get it in a minute. So I'll go ahead out. There's a quite very bit of strong wind coming from the east at the moment. Might be something to note in the case of future things, but I believe someone made a check for the weather while I was gone.
Yeah, I got an 8.
You're unsure on how the weather's gonna go, but your assumption is with the overcast the way it is, it probably won't be too pleasant the longer you're out. You're not sure it's gonna be like thunderstormy, but it might get slightly heavier rain, maybe towards medium or heavy, depending. Again, you and Feldt were talking about like the sea, obviously earlier, like the whole like swell off the coast sea. There is some indication that there might be a little bit of we'll say kerfuffle happening as you look off across the coast. As you guys initially leave Mogah, there is some storm clouds bellowing off into the distance. So you know, just something of note.
Yep.
Starsha kind of leads the pack as you guys head out, and there is this. I would say there's a bit of an odd air as you the further you go out. I'm just changing the track one moment. As you guys kind of go off the beaten path and just kind of cross the forests and the brush. Some people you can see like Feldt and Corinne are seemingly talking about something at least initially. I will need some awarenesses an awareness by the way. Whoever's keeping watch out. All right.
I would nominate Homey on that one, but
I think Homey is a better person.
I support Homey doing it. Also, can Jai keep reading in the cart?
Yeah.
How long has it been since everyone's woken up?
About an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give 2 just to make it easier. We'll say it's been about 2 hours since eating and leaving now and heading out.
Okay.
all right.
Yep. As your homie's kind of sitting on the top of the wagon, or sitting, kind of standing on the top of the wagon, just kind of looking out, doing the good old-fashioned eye left and right, or with the hand over the top of the eyes. And did homie roll, or did you roll?
I think so.
Homey. I thought I heard him. Maybe I didn't. It might have been the sleep homie.
I think it's sleeping.
Oh, no, that was him. Homie, roll. Roll an awareness. Quick, before the sleep snatches you again. Alright, pretty good. Homie, you're keeping a good lookout, ears fluttering in the wind. And the wind does whip, so it does actually get hard to hear certain things further distance, but you're pretty good at like scouting or spotting around, keeping a good vision of things and audio, I should say, of things. It doesn't seem as though anything out of the ordinary kind of pokes out at you. Though there actually, I will say, at least initially, there's wildlife and such. You can see some creatures that dive from out of the water further off in the coast and then dive back down. Then as you guys go further in the forest, Homie, you can spot what looks to be like some type of some deer that kind of trot around. Kind of look over as you guys cross like a path, a certain like kind of dug in area. And they just kind of saunter off. You see a couple of what looks to be Dorga that are kind of munching on some mushrooms and looks like some mushrooms and honey, and they kind of look over and see you. They don't you don't like growl or anything. They just look over, watch you guys like 50 feet away, pass, and they continue to eat what they were eating. Most of the wildlife initially seems to be acting relatively normal. You see overhead this green kind of drake-looking creature with its wings outspread, flying through the sky. Kind of gray and copper colored, or not gray, green and copper colored creature. And it's definitely a sight to see. But maybe after you leave the settlement, about 30 minutes to an hour into the travel, like between that time, maybe 45, things start to change in terms of the demeanor of the area. The wind, perhaps, it seems like it almost becomes more cacophonous, but you notice it's that there's less sound of creatures nearby. You don't see any bustle of the forest. You don't see any woodland animals. It is just the elements of the environment that weave in and out that make the backdrop now. You'd expect to even sometimes hear the clanging of like machines, as you know that some beast frame constructs can roam the area, but even that is silent. It is, for all intents and purposes, vacant, or a vacant area of the forest. Starsha, who seems to be kind of directing, kind of sitting next to probably Karina, or Marliana, who is like moving or like helming the wagon. She seems to be kind of like pointing in directions as you guys go as best you can along like your own beaten path. And she kind of, you can see she has the projection up, and it seems to kind of like be flashing like this ring out, and she's kind of pointing based on a path that is directing her to. Karina kind of looks over. So, Starsha, do you know what we're heading into? Starsha kind of looks over. Not exactly, no. If I had to wager a guess, this beacon, or my device, seemed to have kind of conjured or sent out some type of distress call. It seemed to me imagining, based on the sounds and certain things about it. She kind of looks over. Hey, and she kind of says, "Antler horns." You can see like Tyler Mailer's ear kind of pokes up. She's like sitting in the back. What is it now? She kind of says, also, what did you call me? She's like, she kind of looks over. Did you happen, when you were mentioned seeing something from the Nexus Energeta, did you happen to see what maybe counts as some type of distress call? She's like, that's, well, from what I remember, it's hard to say. Again, I'm not a type of engineer or scholar when it comes to these things, so as far as I can tell, I'd imagine like most distress beacons, it would send out some type of sonar or ringing sound, indicating that it's bouncing from something. Like a radar or something. She says, then she looks back over to Karina. And by the way, others can hear this conversation. They're not like, this isn't like a concealed conversation. And Starsha just says, then I assume, yes, it's a distress beacon. Why it sent out one, and last night, I'm not sure. Maybe proximity, since we're close enough? Well, all I know is ever since this morning, it's been, well, since we got to the town, it's been flashing and pointing me in a direction. And we're about to find out why. Karina kind of looks over. It's like, oh, you think there'll be trouble? Sasha says, knowing our group and luck, most likely. So, she kind of gives her a pat on the shoulder. Just make sure you got that bow ready. Kind of nods right. Sasha says, did you bring the cord caster like I asked you to earlier today? She kind of says, yeah, it's in the bag. She says, have that ready as well, just in case. She's like, alright.
I need to take a look at that thing. I imagine its ammo is special.
Karina's like, actually its ammo is relatively mundane. We could make stronger ammo for it, but tie rope and arrow tips is just really, I mean, it's kind of simple, actually.
Well, I'll have to give it a shot. Haven't really been using my smithing expertise recently.
Sasha says, well, now that we have some more metals for you to work with, that shouldn't be too hard. She says you should get some practice. We got a big haul of armor shots in the last engagement.
I do need to take a look at everyone's armor and weapons. Oh, and I actually went to look at that job skill I'm getting from the book. Oh, wait. Where'd it go? Oh, no, it gives me something else. But I am able to get to a slot, or 2 slots, at least.
As you're looking, Homey, you look up, you hear something, your ears flop up, and you look into the sky, and for a faint minute, you see something in the clouds move up and down. You're not really sure, but it was something large. Like, it's hard to describe. You almost want to say it reminded you the movement of, like, a snake. Like, it looked long, or, like, kind of coily, but it was... You have heard before tales of flying snakes that Mima has told you before. Maybe fae or strange beast-like creatures. Hell, even drake wyverns that can look more snake-like in appearance. This was kind of weirdly metallic, you think? Or at least maybe like some type of dragon? But it was just faintly there for a moment. And then gone. Starsha kind of stops. She kind of holds up her hand to Karina. Karina like halts. She's like, "What's up?" She's like, "I think when nearby. Let's leave the wagon here. Everyone, get your stuff ready. We're on foot the rest of this."
Oh, did Jai take that health horn?
No one has, to my knowledge.
I thought I did.
Oh, are you taking it? Oh, then yeah. Then put it, make sure you have it.
Marliana wants it. Marliana can extract for them.
Not really. I just wanted to make sure.
I think it's just someone... Yeah, I was like, I think someone just needs to take it, was the thing.
Can you send the information for that?
Can someone send the health horn information while I'm doing this?
Yeah.
It's on chapter 7, just the regular health horn. So, as you're... as Starsha starts leading you all further into the forest, you all notice... as you kind of go along like the part of the brush of the forest, you actually start to see what looks to be like overturned trees and broken like splinters of wood. And eventually, like, there are very tall trees where you are. you can see what looks to be a trunk, maybe 60 feet tall, or would have been 60 feet tall, torn around around 10 feet up, with a trunk that's been like splintered and torn to bits beside it, like something smashed into it. And as you look at that, you can see what looks to be like something that drug across the ground, digging deep into the earth and smashing into a hillside. Starsha kind of looks over. The beacon's pointing there.
That's funny. I get some armor that helps with tracking, but I think it's tracking beasts. I don't know if that...
By the way, you sent me the health horn. Oh wait, never mind. You
Did
sent.
I? Oh, I thought I was in chat.
No. You sent chat. No, you did send chat. I was in the wrong. I thought I was in our DMs. I was in the other chat. That was my bad. You're right. You had in the right side. But Starsha kind of looks over and says, "No." As you kind of get over towards the hillside, you kind of all look over, and it looks like something did smash into the hill, but it's slightly buried. And Starsha kind of looks, how are we going to get through this? We don't really have the tools for digging. Protection. It seems like it's some type of defense. Maybe there's a way to... I can cause it to open? She kind of says... you can see Fari kind of says... looks over, cause it to open. Right, I think this is some type of dead drop, or moreover a, how would I put it? A care package, if you will. Starsha kind of looks back over. Karina kind of looks over, like, care package? Oh, and Karina nods, like, I know what you mean by that. Like, when we leave the things in the altar, we leave we leave different types of things in stumps around the hunting grounds. That way, if any hunters need any type of supplies, like healing or something like that, they can go to one of these stumps. Usually they're restocked every now and again, so they're never empty. Like that? Fari says, something like that. Except these come down from up there, she points. And Karina's like, the trees? Fari kind of chuckles. A little bit higher, actually. Like, oh, the sky. Huh, I never thought about putting stuff in there. Fari says, not many would, actually, to be fair. It's not exactly feasible for most. Starsha says, so if that's the case, there's gotta be a way to easily access these, right? Fari says, it's probably tied to your device. Maybe we can, Starsha kind of walks over, maybe we can activate it somehow. Starsha kind of says, kind of looks over, there's gotta be some type of, as she says that, Homey, I don't know if Homey's still there. No, we'll say... Oh, you are? Homey, you see something again. In the clouds, there is something... Again, metallic that dips in and out of the clouds. This time you can see a bit closer. The metallic scales look oddly inorganic. And the frame is slightly hollow in portions. This is not a creature of flesh. This is a construct. And after a few moments, as you're like looking into the sky, it's almost as if the sound stops for a second. The wind blowing almost ceases. The rain begins to the pitter-patter that's been light seems to stop. And then all of a sudden, you can hear the sound of something kind of distorted sound before this popping sound. And something dives through the clouds, tearing through them, causing a kind of explosion of wind around and appearing directly in front of you. As well as all of you, as you see something coiled in the air spinning and kind of moving in a circular motion around itself. A large snake-like, or a huge snake-like metallic construct. We will... I will 1 sec. I need to move you guys to the thing. We will be stopping here, but I want to move you guys at least to see the fun. Took a minute for all that to load in. There you go.
Oh, look at that. It's not quite as big as I was imagining, and that is not a complaint.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, son of a bitch, I zoomed out more.
Yeah, you saw one of them,
No!
not the big one behind it.
You could not plan to time that any better.
Yeah, that doesn't look
I was
so
only
bad.
clicking one click at a time to zoom out. God damn it. I've never jinxed myself that hard. Oh, okay, that's not true. But it's been a while since I've jinxed myself.
Oh, I had these. Oops. That should be right here. Starsha and the rest of you look over. You can see there is. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. That wasn't how that should have been. Was it? This is how that should have been. There we go. As that happens, this first small one pops up right in front of you, hovering about 10 feet in the air, and another large one, the one that split the clouds, now like kind of hovers about 20 feet in the air, coiling out from the sky. And you hear a voice, an audible voice, all of you, as it says, directive. Or sorry, item class S. It has been item class S, Heirloom, project. It sounds like it's about to say something before it cuts out, and it says, item has been identified, high priority.
It says that to us when it looks at us.
It's looking at your group, though it is looking at something specifically. As you can see, the head is looking towards Starsha's arm, or hand.
Starsha's arm. Oh well, there's that for awareness.
Little good that does now, but yes, it's looking at the heirloom. It scans. It seems its eyes scanned over Starsha, and it says, and it would say person of interest identified. Starsha Shivering. It says will commence capture.
Oh no.
It says
This one's Starsha.
It's funny you're about to say that. The next words out of its mind were purging all other externalities.
I hit Homey. I hit Homey great in the shoulder.
Just punch him in
I
the
made
shoulder.
fun of course, I did it as a player. He did it in game. Well, you best believe I was already getting the clip for that, but it's.
That was like as I was about to say. It's like, oh well, considering Homie said that, funny enough. Also, as it says that, there's kind of a crackle and it says messaging, or as it would say, what would it be? Priority. What are the names? Yes, messaging. Priority overseer. Connection linked.
Oh no, we need to switch this shit now.
And that is where we will end. Funny, we're ending on a not just a cliffhanger, but that nat 20. Hopefully, that means good things for the rest of you. Also, don't forget, all of you, got a temporary health points of 10. That does not go away for the next 8 hours, and it has only been like 2.
Yep. Why is that 7? That should be... Alright, so yeah, plus 10.
So, we will begin this.
Or what did it link to?
Oh, it said overseer. It said.
Okay.
It did not say a name yet, but it said overseer.
Yeah, yeah. Also, you at 338 or something around there?
I'm probably a little bit less because I paused. Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
just a little bit less, like 335. All right, so we will end here, and we will begin again in the next session at the beginning of definitely a fight. This I will say, this will be harder than the previous fight.
Yeah, but we're stronger now. We
You
got
are
this.
stronger, but this fight was made for a stronger party. So
Yeah,
this is
it'll be good.
well, let's put it this way. You guys are about to get a taste of a little bit of what the AO can throw out, and why some people might say that getting hunted by them is no bueno, not good.
Look, but we've got a shiny reward waiting for us.
You do. You really do, even though that shiny reward isn't fully made yet. But you do have a shiny reward. But yeah, so you'll be getting it. I hope all of you enjoyed today's session. I know it was a little bit more of some preamble, but you know, sometimes a setup is necessary to achieve some great RP and story. In any case, if you would like to try out Dreamforge yourself, you can do so by going into the description box once again to our Discord, where you can meet the rest of our community, have fun, play games, whether that be Dreamforge or other video games and other stuff. If you'd like to see some of the other art and stuff like that for the game, you can do so by going into that same description box to our other socials, where our link tree is links to all of our things like our Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. So yes, that is where all that can be found. And of course, leave us a like, as it helps push the channel, as well as a comment. Go ahead and comment your favorite part of today's session, as what you think, how you think the party will fare in this next fight. Hopefully, Feldt's warning to Marliana to be careful will not be shown to immediately be something that you need to be aware of in this session, but we'll see. So, yes, in that case, we will see you in the next session. Bye-bye.
See ya.